You are now listening to the Old Head, New Head podcast with your hosts, Eric Iberg and Ethan Schaefer.
Goddamn kids.
Shut up, old man!
All right, we're all set up. We got our mics. You got a mic, thanks to our wonderful GoFundMe that should still be up.
Hell yeah, man. I think we're $990. Latest donation from fucking superstar Patty Graham.
Yeah.
Fucking gift thanks.
Yeah, we're almost at $1,000. This shit's pretty good.
1/50th of the way there.
Yeah, I'm having a crazy morning right now. We're at this Airbnb in Mammoth right now, and we got a stray dog that showed up at our front door, so now we're trying to figure out, like, the friendliest dog in the world, got no collars on. I see him jumping around. So we got a crazy morning. It's 9 a.m. here in Mammoth. We're doing an interview. What's going on here?
Sounds crazy.
First thing I woke up to was a dog I didn't know jumping on my bed. But we're here, we're doing it. What you smoking on?
Today, I am smoking on the fine herbs from Dark Horse Farms, courtesy of Ross Jacob. So I will say this, if you're in Minnesota, you need some THC, some CBD, you want to build a grow in your house, your garage, hit up Ross Jacob online. He'll take care of you, man. And then the other highlight, people that let me roll up my Ross Jacob herbs from Dark Horse Farms here in Minnesota. Blazy Susan, always supplying me with my last episode. I think it was 3.66 DPHs. So give thanks to Big Blazy Susan. What are you drinking on today?
Well, I would usually be drinking on a Big Red R, a nice Rainier, but instead, because it's 9 in the morning, I got my LaCroix rocking right now. I can't.
Dude, they're going to drop you.
I know, they're going to drop my ass.
I was thinking how dope it was that, like, you and Parker are fucking teammates. And then I was thinking about this last night, but now, like, I think Parker would be pretty bummed on your effort.
Maybe they got to give me some stickers so I can just slap the Big Red R on whatever I'm drinking.
Yeah, it's about showing you use the product, man. You know?
Maybe I'll whip up into shape for the 9 a.m. usage.
You know, our first guest told me he's having some tequila for the show today.
Really?
And because of it, I said, fuck.
Damn. I'll have to run to the fridge and grab something when I get a little thirsty. So, who we have on the show today?
You know, I don't even know our guest's real name. I just know him as Caleb iPhone or something online. And he's from Michigan.
Yeah.
So, I'll start with you. What do you know about our guest today?
His name's Caleb Godwin. I interviewed him whenever it was, a couple years ago for when I was doing the Two Planker Business episodes. He runs a company called Sorta Snow. They do clothes. They do events. And he's just an interesting guy. And since then, he's been doing this YouTube channel where he's making tier lists. He's kind of just like a cultural commentator at this point. And we wanted to have him on. And it's funny that he's coming on after the Matei episode because he called out Matei. And I want to find out some more about that beef because Matei seems like he did take it personally.
No, it didn't sound like a beef to me at all when we asked the source. So, like, and then, so I'm pretty excited for that too.
It'll be sick. Yeah, I think Caleb will be a good one. He actually told me whenever I saw him at Hood, maybe last summer, and I was telling him when we were recording season 1 of Old Head, New Head, he's like, "Yo, I want to talk to Iberg." And I'm like,
"Hell yeah!"
I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "Yeah, we got some other people to interview first." He's like, "No, have me on. Trust me."
That's so dope because I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
and I became a fan of him in the last year because, like, I knew him mostly for all of a sudden he put out these tier lists, right, of skiers and companies, and then he was like having opinions about people, and I was like, holy shit! There's this 21-year-old. I think he's 21. Do you know?
This sounds about right. Early 20s for sure.
So I was like, man, there's this young kid in skiing, and he's pretty dope. Like, he can, like, talk some shit, and then, like, I only heard his shit talking first, but then I watched his skiing after. I was like, all right, man, his opinion matters. He skis every day, gives to his community. But it was pretty fun to watch him have an opinion because I don't know any other early 20-year-olds that have a platform or create a platform in our sport with their opinion. And so to me, I'm fucking stoked on that because I think you need to have an opinion to create anything.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to like, because I learned about all his shit after his events, his clothing, but I learned about him from having an opinion. So I'm pretty excited to see what he's doing in life and why he does it and all these fun things.
Yeah, I thought it was a good fit too when you knew him on your own without me having to introduce him. So,
dude, we all talk we talk about him in my circles, right? Because like when he had like these like commentary last fall, I'd be talking with some of my friends and we are like, how does he know that?
yeah.
And there's just no way he knows certain things he said, but he's actually in tune and he can see the nuances in the sport where it's just like, I don't know, I was pretty impressed because he had some takes on the sport that were legit, but it sounds like a prediction.
Yeah.
And so that part was pretty fun that he pays attention that close.
Nah, I'm excited to get him in here. I'm excited to get him in. We should send him the link.
I will.
And if anyone listening, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Give us a little 5-star rating. All these things help our efforts. And
oh yeah, go check out shit, man. I forgot about how we can use this.
Yeah,
go fucking check out the B&E Store, man. freeskiingmuseum.com should be up by this time. Go fucking see everything B Dog and Dolo are doing. It's dope as fuck.
And we should.
What else is fun?
We might have some merch.
Maybe some merch. I don't know. But the shows are coming out weekly now. Like fall time. Shit's big, whatever's going on in skiing right now when these are coming out.
Yeah, this is gonna be. We're recording in May, and this is coming out in September. It's like we're time traveling. So check out the links in the description, and you'll see whatever we got. No promises, but we might have something.
Yeah, we should.
At the very least, we'll have a Ross Jacob discount code.
Hell yeah, Minnesota man.
Yeah.
Herbs.
All right.
The healing of the nation. So you're on the move again after this show?
Yeah, but I think we're just going to move into a different Airbnb across town right after this.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to Hood.
Yeah, so I have next week here at Mammoth, and then on next Thursday, I'm going to Hood, so I can do 2 more episodes.
Nice.
But this setup's a little tough. Got my family in the Airbnb. They're trying to tiptoe around me.
That's nice of them. Tell them it's ski time, man. It's probably already 50 degrees at 9 a.m.
It actually is. We just had rain this weekend, which is very rare in Mammoth, as you know. And it's like the first bluebird day, so it looks hot out already.
Just time for a sunburn. Dude, my favorite thing ever is skiing on the side of the runs and then like doing a big spray into the trees and into the sand and then just hear the sound and then you feel like you're like skiing on water. And I can close my mind and just think about spraying the dirt on the side of the Mammoth runs.
Oh, yeah, this place is pretty cool. We're thinking about maybe getting something here so I can keep on staying whenever I want. But these real estate agents in town, they don't want to sell you anything. I called this woman, and she basically gave me every reason why I shouldn't buy this condo. She's like, you don't want this one. You don't want the fire insurance. You don't want to deal with this HOA. I'm like, all right, lady.
It is California.
Yeah, true.
And you probably should be thanking this woman. Your property taxes, your fucking other shit is probably like the equivalent of buying 5 mansions in Minnesota.
Well, it's pretty expensive, and the other issue too is like California will get you if they think that you're living in California and you're not registered to live in California. The tax man's coming for you, and he wants whatever the state income tax rate is, 13%, 18%, something ridiculous.
I don't know. It's not a realistic place to live. I think that state.
No.
I would love to. It's paradise, but I don't get it.
Yep. Yeah, but we went out on the loop last night. You guys ever camp out on the loop when you were here? Scenic Loop?
Scenic Loop. The one that goes around June Mountain?
No, that's the June Lake Loop. So this is like as if you're going from the center of town up to the resort, like the lodge that road off to the right.
Yeah. I never camped there, but definitely went on it a bunch.
Yeah, that's where we've been camping the past few years. So we had a big bonfire last night. And we were out a little late, so the delay this morning was well welcomed.
You guys go to the hot springs?
I brought my dad to the hot springs yesterday for the first time ever. It's his first time in Mammoth. So.
He's fucking dude. You know where you need to go. You need to go up to Mono Lake and go check out the Tufa Towers. Do you know about the Tufa Towers?
The salt pillar type things.
Yeah.
We saw those, and we actually last year. People remember think maybe the first episode when we were interviewing A-Hall, you recommended Bodie. So I took him to Bodie 2 days ago.
Dude, Bodie is dope.
Yeah, Bodie's sick.
Yeah, it's a special place in that whole area.
Yeah, I think it's as good as it gets. I haven't found one that's better than this. We just keep coming back. And there's a lot of heads here right now. I actually, as a matter of fact, I ran into two people that might be interesting to you. I ran into JF Hool the other day, filming his girlfriend. And then yesterday, I get off the lift. First person I see is Mate.
Oh, well, we already interviewed Mate.
I was like, "What's up, dude?" we just talked the other day.
Yeah, no, Hool would be awesome. He's one of the most passionate people I know that fucking came into the game as a film skier and then had his success as a comp skier after. So I don't know anyone else really like him.
Yeah, he's wearing a D-Structure hoodie, so that's what perked up my interest. I was like, wait a minute.
Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?
And then I seen him. All right.
I know Phil Bellinger. All right. Has he seen it? I mean, he knows the time schedule. We've been in touch a lot in the last half hour, working on it. That's what he says. Oh, maybe his computer blows up.
Are you seeing his stuff like in the local Midwest community? Like local kids stoked on?
He's a Michigan guy, man. And it's crazy. The thing I'm learning the most here is Minnesota's got its own thing. Wisconsin's got its own thing. Michigan. And they are all huge.
Damn.
Like he does an event that brings out like 120 kids, right?
Yeah.
Phil, he's here.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Up. I'm in this bitch. What's up?
This bitch.
Sorry, it took me. I got rid of Zoom maybe like 3 weeks ago. I was like, get her off the desktop, right back on. But we're back to it.
It's good. I heard Skype just went out of business for the first time yesterday in history. So it's good to be on Zoom.
They fumbled it, man. They had the lead. They fumbled it. What's up,
they
Caleb?
dropped the ball.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be on a damn podcast.
I'm stoked to have you on here, my friend. First of all, how old are you?
22. Coming in at the Taylor Swift number.
What does that even mean?
He had a song called 22 that I heard like in the school bus on the way to Catholic school every day, and it scarred me. So now that like whenever I hear the number 22, I just have Taylor's face etched in. Yo, look, Eric, beer moment. Hello. Come on.
I got my tequila and my 40 for you.
Dude, Shad, that's so funny. Yeah, I got You said you were drinking a 40. I was like, man, I don't drink that much, but I'll put down a brew and some tequila.
Hey, when you said tequila, I was like, fuck, it's like I have a friend in real life because I'd never really drink tequila here. But now that you're doing it on the TV screen at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, 100%. That's all I got. But thankfully, I got a roommate that had a Dello, so I was like, I'll crack a Dello.
Nice.
Crocodillo sounds like crocodile. Anyway, crocodillo. What up, Ethan? Been too long. How are you doing?
What's up, brother? Chilling at Mammoth right now. About to head up to Hood next week.
I'll be seeing you there. I leave. Hopefully the 9th. We were going for the 8th, but I got a juke, and I'm bringing my friends with me. They told me we could bring their car. They said, psych. I said I could take the Toyota, crash the Toyota, psych. So now I got a little juke. Doesn't come with a damn trailer hitch. I got to add the attachment. It's a whole pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And it's not here yet. So we might be at Hood a little later, but I'll see you there. We'll cross paths again.
I've started budgeting less and less time for Hood every year and more time for Mammoth. So I think I'm going to be there just for the last week of Spring Pass, and that's it.
That's fine. I might not see you at all then, but maybe you'll catch me at the end.
I'll see you around. Last time I saw you was Zigzag Cafe.
Dude, that was that's a great thing you could bring up in a podcast, because my life fucking really took a shit after the Zigzag Cafe link up.
Damn.
That's like,
we'll get there.
Like right after that is when I got poison ivy. Like my balls started itching for the first time at Zigzag Cafe, and I was like, God, I hope I don't have poison ivy again.
That was the Last Supper for you.
Literally. Roscoe and Ethan just like hung over.
Yeah. That was a fun time. All right, Iberg, you want to tell Caleb what we do here?
All right, Caleb, I got a spiel. So
Yeah, give me a spiel.
I was on Two Planker podcast like 2 years ago, and Ethan's like 25 at the time. I'm 44, whatever. He's like 20 years younger than me. And we talked about skiing for a couple hours and whatever. And I was like, fuck, man, I don't get it, man. Like, I don't get anything that's happening, maybe under 25-year-old kids.
Yeah.
And like, I was like the ski kids I got to meet in real life. And I'm like, I wonder why they do it. Wonder what makes them go. What are they trying to fucking create? What's the goals? Right? Because our whole generation as younger guys was kids creating goals and then fucking trying to accomplish those, but at the same time, not trying to fit in ever and creating their own lanes. Yeah. So a lot of the old heads we have on the show are guys that created their own lanes. So I was like, hey, Ethan, do you want to do a show like Old Head, New Head, where we'll talk to the old guys, see what lane they created, how they did it, and what they did in their career, and then we'll talk to the young guys, see what they're fucking doing, why they're doing it, and where they're going. So it's kind of an excuse for me to talk to all you guys because I consume all you guys on platforms, social media, whatever, the younger ski generation, but I don't understand it. So it's just a conversation to have with you, talk about skiing, because obviously you're fucking stoked on it to do what you do, and see what you're up to and learn about it more. Because I just learned you have a fucking clothing company, and I didn't even know that after fucking following for a year.
Word. Well, yeah. No, that's we'll get your answers fucking question or your answers questioned, your questions answered. And dude, I gotta be the newest head, one of the newer heads out. So if you want to tap into a new head, damn it.
Well, you're our second youngest. We realize because I think Matei, we just did him, and he is.
Matei's younger than me, dude. That's funny that I'm back to back with Matei. That was like my little coffee boost at the beginning of the year was piggybacking off Matei. So I thought that was
going to be a great conversation.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I was looking like all right, we did the collab post. Like, I gotta get more. He still got more likes than me, man. It's got to be the whole being an Olympic gold, whatever athlete he is. But I was close, damn it. I needed that. I should have accepted the Sorta collab. I could have beat him, bro. That would have been the only dub I get in my life over Matei.
You never know, man. People love people talking more than actions in this world nowadays. So
for sure. But
I wouldn't.
No, shout out to Matei for being younger than me. That was like a big problem when I was a kid. Was like looking at Instagram and seeing Matei do like quintuples and then being like, oh, he's like 2 years younger than me. That fucking sucks. I gotta say this too. First pair of skis I ever bought were the J Skis inspired collabs. That said "Be Inspired" on the bottom, and I bought the 181s or the 182s, whatever they made them in at the time.
We had one that said "One Love," and we had one that just said "Inspired in Smoke."
Oh, One Love. Mine said "One Love" on there, not "Be Inspired." It said "Be Inspired" on top, under the boot, and then it said "One Love" big text with the flag. And those were my first the whippets, dude. I got them 180, and I was like, man, these are too big. Got them off them the next year, and then I came back and rode them for like 3 years after. So the One Love inspired, like everybody. That was my way of getting OG respect back in the day, because I was a new head, up here. Like, I started skiing when I was like 12. I learned when I was a kid. Got back into it when I moved back from California, and I was like, I got to get some OG respect. How do I do it? Got me the damn inspired collab skis. So
Jay Leventhal inspired, booyah.
Yeah, so shout out to that. But yeah, Michigan, man, I like Hornbeck. I'm from a military family. My dad was in the Coast Guard. And my mom. So
are you born and raised? Are you born in Michigan?
I'm born in Wisconsin, but I'm born in Marinette,
how does your upbringing,
on the border.
Give us your upbringing, where you're born, and what you go through to get.
Yeah, so I'm born in Marinette, Wisconsin. But I think before I was 1, we moved to Alaska. So Cordova, Alaska, until I was 2. When I was 2, I moved to the house I'm in right now, which is empty. My room's empty now because I just moved out of here. But I was here until I was 7. And then I moved to Connecticut. Went to Catholic school. That shit sucked. Came back. Moved to California for 2 years. Got cultured. That shit rocked. Came back. And then that's when I started skiing, and originally it was hooping. Originally I wanted to get buckets, but then
where in California were you?
I was near San Francisco, Walnut Creek.
Okay.
Where Corey Duffel is, the skateboarder, which is like that's like some knowledge I got later. I was like, damn, like I could have been skating at a place where Corey Duffel skated, but nah, I wasn't skating at the time. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 zombies only.
And all of this is, are you on military bases? If your dad's a military guy, every time
Yeah,
you
so
meet
he's Coast Guard. He's Coast Guard. So he's like, you know, the like Mother Teresa of the military. Like he's doing less
no one hates him.
less shooting, more, you know, where's your boater license or whatever. But he was a captain. So when we were in the Great Lakes, he drives icebreakers. So which is like really badass. Like I have a badass dad, but
Have you ever been on one?
yeah, when I was a kid, he used to take me out for like months. It was low-key crazy. Like I don't know how the hell it was okay that he did that, but
No.
I remember being on like in the all of his like his workers on the boat would like salute me and shit, like I was something else, which was cool. But yeah, then so California came back, and then that's when I liked skiing. I learned to ski when I was a kid in Michigan, and I loved it. Like that was my favorite thing. I told my parents that, like, this is my favorite thing. I want to do it the most. They said, that's great. We're going to New London. There's not much skiing in New London. So it got cut off for a while, came back at 12. But yeah, I think that answers the question. I'm from a lot of places.
And so
but
then
Michigan's been like more than half, probably like 15 years in Michigan.
What's your Michigan spot? Like, what's your town and what's your ski hill?
Yo, Ellsworth, Michigan. All right. I really hope that they the Ellsworth School Board put some respect on my name, because I got to be the most poppin' person ever out of Ellsworth.
How many kids go to school there?
I graduated with, dude, I don't know the exact number. Low key, everybody I've told this number, I've lied to. I have no idea how much it is, but I know we didn't crack 20. I think it was 18 or 16.
So do you have all grades in one school, kindergarten through 12?
So no, we had our own high school. So I actually graduated from a Christian school in my hometown, 8th grade. One, just me, solo dolo, top of the class, bottom of the class. I've had no hoes since day one. Literally, I didn't even have the choice. But that school like K through 8 was all in the same like building, and it was not a big building. Like building was probably the size of like a normal.
So as a Coast Guard, as a military Coast Guard kid, and you're not moving to bases, what was the attraction to this town for your parents? Because it's so small, right? If you move around that much and you get a pick.
Yeah, yeah. So it's real small. So my dad originally moved here. The nearest town, Charlevoix, which Charlevoix is like a notable town. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's where like the richest of the rich in the Midwest go. Like it's got the nicest golfing, and it has these like exclusive clubs that like you can live on. It's only in the summer, and you have.
Sorry for my ignorance, but are you closest to Grand Rapids? Are you on the west side?
Grand Rapids is like the nearest. So I'm at the north. So like, you know how it's shaped like a mitten? Is the mitten the right way on camera right now?
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm right here. So the bridge is right here. So Grand Rapids is right here. That's like 2.5. Detroit's down here. That's like 4.
All right.
But I'm repping Detroit heavy right now. I feel like I had to put on for my mid. I knew you were going to be wearing the Twins hat, so I was like, man, let's go Tigers, damn it. But
I don't really go to games ever, but fuck it.
I don't really go to shoot. I've never been to a Tigers game, but I like to keep up. If they do good, I cheer. You know what I mean? But
I only wore the Twins hat like once I moved away from Minnesota, just so people would know us from Minnesota, because no one in skiing was Minnesota, right? So whenever I travel the world, if someone saw the TC, they're like, "You're from Minnesota?" But now that I live here, it's so unfun. Everyone's like comes up to me and asks me, like, they're like, "Oh, Billy hit pretty bad last night.
The pitcher really did good last night," and you're like, "I have no clue what the fuck."
I don't watch any games. They're like, "Yeah, but why do you have such a loud hat?" And I'm like, "Because it's dope, right? And it matches my shirt."
But yeah, Northern Michigan, it's underrepresented, but you know, we got some shit going on. Not much, but we're getting moving.
So you come back and you need some OG cred. And so I'm guessing this would be like 2015 or 16.
Yeah, shit. When did I?
And you're like 12.
Yeah, so I'm 22. So yeah, 10 years ago. That's about when. So I actually got a ski swap pair of skis. Some like Dude, Lord knows what the fuck they were. They were green. No, they weren't green. They were pink, yellow, and black and orange. And they were Nordica. They said supercharged on top. And I was like, oh, these things are supercharged. Those things were supercharged like 150 pounds on each foot. They were some heavy ass skis. And then I was like, let me evolve. Let me be with the times. And I was like, what's more with the times than this new company, J Skis?
So now are you all stoked on freestyle skiing as a little kid, or are you stoked on skateboarding or action sports, or what draws you to this element of wintertime tricking?
Yeah, no, that's real, dude. It's like, that's a good question. And it didn't start like, I'm sure like low key, I bet a lot of the people who get on the show have been skiing their whole life. You know what I mean?
Dude, everyone's
Like,
different, man. It's so fun.
I know everybody's different. Like there's definitely people who I've met, like especially working at Wendell's, where I'm like, I'm usually one of the people who have skied, and I hate how kids size it up. So like, don't take this as I hate that I'm doing it as somebody who's like a grown, I'm sizing myself up to other people, but it's a little different once you spend like 10 plus years in skiing. But I spend a lot less time than like some of my peers. But some of them are like, yeah, actually, like I started skiing 5 years ago, and they're doubling, so it doesn't matter at all necessarily. But yeah, more recent getting into it, and I just loved it. Like that was my thing when I before I left Michigan to go to Connecticut. Like all I wanted to do was ski. So I got back here, and I was like, well, shit, like it's not good to play basketball right now. Like, I guess I got to ski again. So open gym was on Sunday, skiing was on Saturday. And then eventually I just ended up liking it more. The action of skiing. I'm very grateful that that's what drew me initially, because I didn't get a lot of rides to the hill growing up. My parents are from Louisiana. They're both from Shreveport, Louisiana. So it's a little harder to be like, hey, like I just got off of school, please bring me somewhere else for 4 hours.
How far away is your ski hill from your house?
30, about 40,
Okay.
30 to 40, depending on how shitty the roads are, and they can get pretty bad.
Big up your parents for that, because I'm the ski hill I grew up with. I was only 5 minutes from my parents' house, so I could forget my boots, cry about it, no big deal. They went home, got them, and then it was only 20 minutes off their back. If I only skied a little bit, called them on the payphone, it was good. But dude, now at 30 minutes, the last thing I want to do is be like, I want to go sit in traffic for 30 minutes, drop my kid off, and then like have them call me, because that's an hour round trip each way, 2 hours of driving.
100% too. And my mom was like, because of my dad, he was on the boat and he's on an icebreaker. And when are you breaking ice? The damn winter. So like My mom was pretty much single momming it all winter too. And I was like, you got to let me do corks, please, every day. Not that I was doing corks, but that was the end goal at the time. and yeah, I eventually, basketball is everything still though. Like I was going to college for basketball. I would just ski on Saturday and talk about it for the rest of the week. But I still would practice basketball every day until I was about to get on varsity going into my junior year. I quit because I didn't like basketball. I told my coach it was people were too mean in basketball, which I still think is true. I think people take shit too seriously. It's not that big of a deal, especially Northern Michigan fucking basketball. Like I had kids like I'll beat the fuck out of you. I'm like, yo, I just shoot jump shots. I don't know.
My second cousin went to Marquette. He was awesome. I was sarcastic. No, I
went to Marquette though. That's funny. Yeah, I went to Marquette for college.
No, it's just such a big thing. If I was a Northern Michigan person, I would think that was God, right? Because I mean, you have Michigan State. You got
100%.
And Marquette. Like it is pretty dope growing up watching basketball from Michigan.
No, for sure. But yeah, shout out to Michigan, hometown, represent.
Well, shit, Ethan, what do you got early on?
I forgot you lived in Connecticut for a little bit.
Shit, there's a connection.
Yeah, 2-year New London, Connecticut, St. Joseph Catholic school. That's like that was my big first trauma, I would say, was Catholic school. That one fucked me up pretty bad. I hated pretty much every second of Catholic school, but I mean, they were just mean to you at Catholic school. They would I had really bad handwriting. Dare I say I was developmentally stunted as far as in some ways in my education when I came there. And at Catholic school, you get paid real expensive, and it's like all the snooty kids from New London. So like,
Yeah.
I had to be
Yeah.
all smart, private school, whatever.
I forget that Catholic school is a expensive private school.
Dude, these damn nuns would keep me in from recess to just like work on my cursive. I used cursive once. They held me in for recess for no damn reason. These old spiteful women who haven't done shit but go to a damn fucking, you know what? I'm not gonna hate on
Yeah.
Catholicism that bad, but like,
No, but you lived it. I'm interested. All my
nuns,
nephews go to Catholic school, right? So I'm interested, and they always get bummed on their shit. And so I'm
dude,
interested.
uni up. I'm like tie and in boat shoes. I'm out there trying to play kickball. Let me put on the sneaks, Sister Teresa. Like Jesus Christ. But I can't say Jesus Christ either. That would give me a big trouble. But I wasn't Catholic either. So like all the shit the Catholic kids were doing, like I just had to sit out of it. It was me and this Indian girl in the back who just didn't want to go to public school because her parents were afraid we'd get, I don't know, indoctrinated into a gang or some shit. But shout out to
So your parents used
man.
the Catholic school as a private school, but you weren't even Catholic?
A lot of people who went to the Catholic school weren't Catholic, but they were more Catholic than me. Like my parents didn't want me doing the rituals and shit. I mean, rituals, ceremonies. I don't want to be that mean, but it's a ritual. Like you stand in a line and you go "Hooga chaka," and then you get your Jesus now.
Oh, I hear you. Stand up, sit down, kneel, man. The procession of 55 minutes is wild. I grew up,
dude. I used to be in the back of the damn church. Me and this Indian girl, and which is so interesting. Like. I got some shit for not being Catholic. I can only imagine what because she like her family was Sikh, so she never cut her hair. Her hair's like dragging the ground. Like we're just in the back, like watching like our 40 classmates like do little circles with a pastor in front of them, and it wasn't fun. And if we made any noise, we had like a lady go. I was like, okay, but got out there, came back, and then I started skiing for a little bit, and then I went to California, and I was like, no, it's gonna suck again, and then I just ended up kicking it heavy with a bunch of Californian kids.
So when you love skiing more than basketball, and because they're mean, what were you in love with the trick mentality? Were you like, what was it that drew? Was it the crew mentality? Was it just like I don't know. What was it that made you go from something you love that's organized, structured, has someone, a coach with a good intention, and then like you have, because I remember all my ski friends hated team sports when I first started. And I was like, yeah, but like you have to know how to work as a team. I'm a cameraman, I'm an editor, like there's a film guy, like it's a team sport. Even you need someone to save your life too when you're dying.
Yeah, no, that's
and so I always bugged out on that. But what was it for you that like really brought you to skiing? Was it the freestyle element or was it something else?
I mean, like, keep it 100. I was 6 feet going into 8th grade. I was a tall kid. I was a tall, lanky kid. And when you're a tall, lanky kid in a town with like you graduate with 16 kids, you're a hooper, So the basketball coach everybody interested in basketball was really hyped on me really early. And I was too. Like I loved basketball. It was super fun. It was something I could practice by myself all the fucking time, grind it out and get better, which I loved. Like, and that's what I think I love most is like being able to work on something and like see myself improve. But what I didn't like was playing games. Like, I got all these people trash talking to me. I got the coach yelling at me like when I did something that he told me to do low key. Like, I think coaches are like super delusional pretty much all the time because they tell their children who are children, like they're 16, like to do a bunch of different things that all combat each other. So I don't know. I saw that I wasn't going to damn college. I was 6 feet tall in 8th grade. I was 6 feet tall as a sophomore. I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing that. This kid and I got in the scrimmage against Bel Air, which was our rival at the time. And there was this little kid with curly hair who will never hear this, but I hope he's doing bad. And he was really shit talking me. And I'd gotten shit talk before, but it never really got to me because I'd usually just be better. Like basketball is easy. You could just score. And then you're like, okay, you talk shit. I got 2 more points than you, So it was an easy fix. Maybe I wasn't scoring as much this game, but for some reason he just pissed me off. And I told him like, it's the first time I talked back. And I got taken out of the game because my coach heard it, and I never played again. So after that, I told him, I was like,
curly-haired kid.
Dude, he was a little demon. He was so short too. I was like, listen, if I ain't making it to the league, bro, you ain't making it to the league. Like you coming up on my nipples down there. But whatever. Shout out to that kid. And then yeah, I love skiing too. Like my coach would always hate on me for going skiing. Like because I'd ski Sunday and Saturday. And I'll just go to open gym after Sunday, so I'd be tired. And he'd be like, "Don't go skiing anymore." And I was like, "Man, fuck that!" Like, and that's when I got into high school, or at least maybe when I was in 8th grade. That's when I started watching videos. And once I started watching the videos, like, I just started watching more videos and getting interested. And I think the bunch. Whenever I started liking the bunch, I went to Wendell's when I was in 8th grade, and I hurt myself first day.
So
it wasn't
8th
very
grade, just
good.
to kind of put it in perspective, we're talking like maybe 90 or 2015.
So yeah. So if it's 2025 now, yeah, about 2015, maybe 2016.
Okay.
That might be the summer I went.
Well,
It
that
might
was
have
the
been
year the
before
bunch
my
was
freshman
fucking
year.
just track pant blow up 2016.
Yeah, that was the year that that was 0-3P3 filming year. So it was a good year to like the bunch, and it was a good year to go to Hood, but I missed all of it. I wasn't there the weeks they were there, and I hurt myself. So I went there for Steve Step week. And
Did you meet Steve Stepp?
in case you thought Steve Stepp would be awesome working with kids at a summer camp, he wasn't. But shout out to Steve Stepp. He was like one of my favorite guys at the time. It was cool to meet him.
Wait, why do you say that? Because here's why I ask you. Rory Silva was always thought of as the worst coach, like at Wendell's, but he could make every kid to do a backflip because he'd be like, "You're such a fucking pussy. Why don't you just try a backflip?" And every kid loved him, but he got fired. So I'm wondering what made Steve Stepp not a good coach.
He sounds like Eeyore. Is that what he was?
I don't
you're
know.
a pussy kid.
Oh no, Rory Silva sounds like that. He's so amazing.
That's funny. Shout out. Yeah, I love hearing all the old coaching stories from back in the day when camp was like loose and fun, and skiers were allowed to be skiers and not like pretend they weren't skiers. I have issues with how camps ran too in certain ways, but yeah, Steve Stepp was good. He was good. I was a kid who got hurt first day, and I went there by myself, and I'm from Northern Michigan. I had no skiing friends. Like the only person I knew there who was Allie Patrick and Jesse Bacon. Rest in peace, Allie Patrick. Jesse Bacon's alive. I saw them there, and like they were older than me. Like they didn't even know who I was, so they didn't talk to me. So I was pretty much just alone there. But I got to kick it with some cool people. I got to kick it with oh my God, why can't I think of this guy's name? His Instagram's Tropic Thunder. Last name's McDaniels. Black snowboarder. He's awesome. I got to hang out with him a lot there. And Quinn Wolferman, who became my favorite skier for the next 5 years after going to Wendell's.
Damn, are you guys the same age? Or is Quinn older?
Quinn's older than me. We are kind of close, though. He was there. So I must either just turned 13 or about to turn 13. And he was 17. They let him work there when he was young, I remember. And that was like everybody knew it, but they just let it happen, which I think is
what
cool,
made you want to go to Wendell's? Like as someone that just got back into it, like how? Because it's a big commitment to ask your
dude. I watched.
I
watched. They see me trolling. I watched the Little Chris video.
So you picked Steve Stepp week?
Yeah, no, because I was like, this is like I saw the Little Chris video and I was like, oh, like Mount Hood's fucking crazy. Like I gotta go here. And no, it was crazy, and I got to meet Steve Stepp. But I probably looking back at it, I think Paben and Lucas Stahl Madison would have been a better choice for me at the time. Dude, but you know what? Shout out to that boy Steve.
I was a huge Stepp fan, dude. I was like such a big fan of him.
Cork 5, Blunt, like the best super feds, like coming. Maybe some people might say the coattails of Tom Wallish, but damn it, he had his own.
That's the saddest part because he entertained us all, and he was smooth. But because there was the opinion that he was what you just said, coattails Tom Wallish or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they would have if 4x9 would have just always used him as the comedy character in their movies, right? Because everyone's a character, a unique, different personality. And like he always had it, but he had to be solo on it. And then he got too extreme, and then you're too extreme. And then all of a sudden his voice was louder than his skiing when he was like doing wine on skiing and all these, they see me trollings. And he was
White on
dude,
skiing might have been the best one.
I
loved
was
that
such
one
a
back in
fan,
the
man.
day.
Because the thing was, like, I only knew who he was because of skiing.
Mm-hmm.
And then because of skiing, I listened to him talk. But then everyone's like, oh, fuck his skiing. And you're like, oh, that's a
For
bummer.
sure.
He would have been a great person for the sport if they would have supported him. I think Saga did, but that was it.
For sure. So I will say this. This is something that I want to shout out, and I think this like goes to show how like special this person is. I met so like going to Wendell's, I don't think I knew the difference between a front two and a back two. Like I knew how they looked, but like I would just watch it on the ski lift and like copy Jesse Bacon. That was our skier at the time. You can look him up on YouTube. Like, and it's also funny to look back. Like our number one Jesse Bacon, who all my friends looked up to, like comparably now, like we're definitely going harder for the kids.
What made you stoked on this guy, Jesse Bacon? Why was he your number one?
It was all boarders, dude. All of Michigan was snowboarders. We didn't want to fucking ski. We had Hornbeck. You know, he Hornbeck was huge. He was everything. Everybody started skiing, and then I think at some point they must have stopped. At least at my mountain, they stopped. Boyne Mountain was all snowboarders, and then Jesse was skiing. I was skiing as a child. I saw him doing, and like he was good for sure. Like super feds on lock, front six on lock, like could cork 7, could like cork 3, blunt grab. Like he was an awesome role model for us to have. But he went to snowboarding pretty soon after, and it's funny now. Like me and my friends talk about it. Like we watched the old Jesse Bacon edits that we used to drool over as kids, and we're like, man, like the kids who are watching the Sorta edits, they got a lot more tricks to go off of.
So what made him so awesome? Because he was one of the only guys doing it that was older than you?
He was the only local who was doing it, for sure. He was there every day pretty much when I was a kid. And he was the guy I got to watch. So I didn't know it at the time, but he's from East Jordan, which is from a town nearby. And like, dude, like Jesse could have had a lot more flowers, I think. Like he was a Hispanic skier from northern Michigan that was super driven, and I think the industry kind of fumbled him too. Like he went to Wendell's all the time as a kid, and he was showing like good talent, but for whatever reason, he did not want to ski anymore, and he started snowboarding, and he still snowboards, and I still hang out with him to this day. But he was our number one guy, and then we started copying him. We just wanted to be like Jesse.
Dope.
And then we ended up like Jesse. You know, we make videos, and it was all about the videos. The bunch, Color by the Bunch, like definitely changed my life.
So when you were into it, like at this point, do you want to make videos too because you look up to this Jesse guy and then the bunch? Or like right off the bat, do you want to compete? Or what is your element?
Maybe I did want to compete. I don't know. I knew that I wanted to ski more. Skiing was like basketball, right? Where like I could do it by myself all the time, grind it out and get better. And then people would tell me like, yo, you got better, which is sick. Like that's definitely something I enjoy and I get much more of a kick out of than a lot of people would admit. I think people are like, oh, like it's for the soul, it's for the feelings. No, sometimes it's for the fucking compliments. Like when I was a great basketball player. If I'm gonna quit skiing and get 0 fucking compliments and like everyone just says I'm an okay skier, like in my brain that did kind of feel like failure. But the process of getting better at skiing, which I was doing even when I was playing basketball, was way more enjoyable. Like I got to do it by myself, and like I got to see something afterwards. You know what I mean? I got to practice a trick. I get to do this dance move, right? Like, which is what it feels like to me. It feels like I'm practicing a dance move. I get on the fucking rail. I do my dance move. My friend videos me, and I could be like, all right, how does my dance move compare to the best dancers?
Or how do you do it better, right? And you film it. Because like in basketball, you run a drill, you do it wrong, the coach yells at you, what the fuck? You fail in skiing, and your friend goes, oh, you got this, man. Just do this next time. And it's like such a more fun process. Like it's cool, like when but we're not military, you know, like as humans. So that military angle in team sports don't really make a kid feel great anymore.
No, most definitely. And like I love skiing too because my friend Nick, who has always been a better skier than me, and I want to go on the podcast and say this in front of as many people as I can. Nicholas Gazzardo who was like my closest friend, I would say, growing up, and like as I was really starting to get into skiing and like become passionate about it, he was always neck and neck with me. Like he was the kid who was my age, that was the best at the mountain. So I was like, I got to get as good as Nicky. Eventually ended up being his friend. He's still way better than me. Don't get it twisted. Like he hasn't done any fucking 1080s. Like he hasn't done any doubles. But Nick is the most talented and gifted skier ever because he can do the two to switch the way he does. Because he can do, and that's what skiing, and that's like what really brought me to it, right? Like if I can't do a fucking cork 7 one day, I can do a front 2 that's really good, and I'm just as much of a winner as, because what am I gonna watch on repeat? Am I gonna watch the best front 2 ever done, or am I gonna watch my 12-year-old ass do a shitty cork 7? I'm gonna watch the best front 2 ever done. So like that perspective that I always had from the beginning, like I was looking ahead from day one. When I was skiing as a kid, I was just thinking about doing the hardest tricks that I was seeing on slush. Like I wanted those feelings, so I just started working towards it, and I just started grinding. I'm a grinder. I love the grind, dude. Hiking this fucking flat tube at Boyne Mountain Parks. Ask anybody at the damn mountain who was hiking the fucking flat tube at Boyne Mountain Parks for the past 7 years.
It's you.
To me. But yeah, that was a little bit of a ramble. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, you did. But here's my next question: as a Northern Michigan person, when you said you didn't know if you wanted to compete, was there any opportunities for you to compete in Michigan?
Dude, this sounds like a great time to shit on USASA. I'm kidding.
I hate USASA. United States of America Snowboard Association bought the whole rights to youth development of park and pipe skiers from the United States Ski Association in 2018, and they are putting our shit to shame. This is called United States of America Snowboard Association. Runs 100% of youth development park and pipe in the United States of America for skiing. So you can go from there.
Yeah. So I have similar feelings. I don't have as much information. I would love to make a YouTube video about it. And I'm sure a lot of the questions that Ethan are going to ask me later are pivoted towards YouTube. So we'll get plenty of comments about that. But that's one of the YouTube videos I want to make, is like discussing like the awfulness that was my personal experience competing in USASA. And then later on, I got the opportunity with a kid that I'm the guardian of. People think he's my little brother, Carter, Big C, Dobbins. He's not my little brother, but I am his legal guardian, and we're very good. I'm Uncle C in the house, you could say. But I got to bring him to Colorado to USASA Nationals, and I got to see how they ran it. And the year that I got to do it, all I wanted to do was go to Nationals. I won everything. Keep it 100. Won everything. Got to Nationals, and COVID happened. It was 2020, so I didn't even get to go. I didn't even get to be disappointed that they didn't give a fuck about me at Nationals. You know what I mean? But after going to Nationals, I'm just like, man, like I gave them all that money that year to compete. Like it's expensive as fuck to compete in USASA.
Break this down for us, because you're like talking about it from a rider's perspective and almost a parent's perspective. And
let me tell you what you can get your fucking kids into. All right, if you want to get your kids into skiing, this is why. And I also want to say this, like I'm super not hyped on skiing, right? I'm very passionate about the act of skiing. I'm very, and this is a reason why making YouTube videos is very hard for me right now, is I'm disappointed with skiing as a whole. And this is one of the reasons why, but it's so inaccessible to get your kids into competing in skiing. So if you didn't have a fucking Godwin, I was going to say my Instagram name, but I'm Godwin, damn it. I'm not an iPhone. I'm Caleb.
You're
Godwin.
Caleb iPhone.
I run some fucking events, and you don't gotta pay shit. I never make you pay ever in my events. I would love if you did, especially if the prizes get better, depending on if you do donate. But you don't have to. USASA, if you want to compete at all, you're dropping hundos right off the fucking bat. And let me tell you where they're gonna bring you in Northern Michigan. They're gonna bring you to Treetop Ski Resort. And if you know anything about Treetop Ski Resort, which you don't, because there's nothing you would ever know or want to know other than that Simon Dumont used to go there back in the day in like early 2000s. I know, random treetops. They used to have like an airbag back in the day. They fell off though. Don't get it twisted. It's the worst park around, dude. And you have to compete in the worst conditions against the worst skiers to go to nationals. And then they didn't even let me go because they canceled it. Didn't refund anything. These medals suck. They're like Timu medals. The course at Copper was the worst course you could ever build for kids. They made the lips as small as possible. They like the whole park for these kids. Nationals, you work your ass off, dude. Like Carter is from up here. He's from northern Michigan. We ski at Boyne together. He has no coach. We just laugh and we get good. And he went there and he got second in the rail jam, which is super sick and a great memory for him. But like on a shitty rail jam course, and he didn't do well on a shitty slope style course. And that's the thing, dude. Like these kids are going through all of these shitty courses praying to go to Copper. They go to Copper and there's a great park. Copper's got the best park right next to the course that you have to hit that was built in a day before that sucks. So like, I don't know. I was really disappointed with it. They wouldn't give me a pass, even though I work for a ski resort that like is under the same jurisdiction. I guess like it's Icon and Copper. There's like a pass thing. I had like a signed piece of paper saying I got cheap passes. And they only gave me a cheap pass for one day. They said I needed a signed piece of paper for every single day to get a cheap pass. And I couldn't believe it. I thought I had a horrible experience with USASA and Copper. And I want to thank the person who gave me the free pass that let me ski for free at Copper the whole time. Fuck Copper. You know what? You try to keep me off the hill. Take this part out if I need to, because I don't want to get them too pissed at me. But they tried to keep me off the fucking hill, and you can't, dude. I got myself a pass. I'm going to sneak through behind enemy lines, and I'm going to chill with Liam down at the top of the damn park. That's all I got to say.
How much
How
much did it cost, Carter, to get to nationals? Like if you're talking registration fees, travel, all that shit for everything leading up to it.
Dude. It costed them like... It's like just USASA, like not...
Yeah, so you need a membership.
Yeah, just the road to nationals. How much does that all cost?
Road to nationals? Oh my God. Gotta be a car. It's gotta be 4K, 3K.
Yeah.
Like...
And then your nationals trip is double, right? So whatever you spent locally after registration, then you have to sign up for each contest to get your points. Then you have to buy a lift ticket at that contest place. Then you have to travel to it, maybe spend a night. Then if you make nationals, then you got to get to nationals. So that means you got to drive or fly to Colorado. Then you need a place to stay. Then you need to do that. So your nationals experience, it's just like, hey, congratulations. You just spent $2,000 competing this year in the Midwest. You want to go to nationals? It's another times two.
Yeah.
And this fucking kid from northern Michigan, okay? Keep in mind, all these kids are on the podium, all right? And I'm proud of my boy Carter. Don't get it twisted. And you can tell I'm very proud of my boy Carter. But all these kids on the podium, they're from Utah. They're from Colorado, and they go to academies or have full-time coaches. That's just how it is in skiing. That's totally fine. You know what? That's competition skiing. That's to be expected. There's been skiers over the years who have been able to be just as talented and just as good all by themselves. Carter's one of those kids. He's on second. He got second. You know who got first? Some kid from Utah. I don't know his name, but he's probably going to be in the Olympics. Check him out in a couple years. He's fucking Team USA, right? Carter Dobbins, he's below him. All the way from Michigan. What are they going to give him? A copper branded size medium women's Columbia fleece. Second, all the way from Michigan. He flew in. He put in all of his effort. His 10-year-old, he's chucking his 10-year-old body off 30-foot jumps, dude. Putting his little skull at risk. And they said, yo, let's give him a $20 like dead stock fleece from the shitty gift store at Copper, dude. They don't care about you. I don't even know where their money's going. Whoever's getting this money is running the best scam of all time. I can't believe
it's USASA. It's a total scam, man. The whole idea is like you have to put the USASA has to be called out because they sold these rights to the snowboard.
It just breaks your heart. Like if I had something, right? People were telling me congratulations at the beginning of the year. Your YouTube channel, you're gonna make it. Congratulations. Like I'm supposed to get people to want to do this thing. Like I'm trying to get people to go skiing, and like shit like this is happening. Like, I work for a resort that it's $85 for a day to ski at. Are you kidding me? That's getting outside. That's going down a hill with your friends and playing on this piece of metal that's been there for fucking 50 years. Barely can get running in the morning. Don't get it twisted. If you think our lifts are running nice and easy every morning, whoo-wee, goddamn, it's a miracle if they get spinning. And once they do, you're gonna have to pay $85 a day for. I can't believe it, dude. It's so hard for me to morally get behind skiing that my YouTube channel has been taking a side effect because of it.
And I hear you. Like for me, imagine like Minnesota, because the same scenario. I was able to buy $110 season pass for night, 3 to close every night, 5 minutes away from the hill, right? So
let's talk inflation too. This is a
but
lot.
But I'm just saying. Say I got $20 every time I mowed one lawn, right, in the summer, like in my neighborhood. I was paying for my season pass after mowing 6 lawns. Like, you know how dope that was? That was a babysitter. So, yes, inflation is totally there, but it's not realistic even for a Midwest skier anymore because it used to be functionable. It used to be the best babysitter alive, right? You could ask you were justifying it to your mom saying, Dad's gone. Can you have me an awesome babysitter where I'm going to be productive and only try to better myself? Says no kid ever. That's why skiing was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I do have to we have the free ride program where if you get good grades up here, you get a cheap pass. Which is great because I always had fucking perfect grades. Dare I say the people who need the ski hill most are the people with bad fucking grades.
Yep.
You know, so like your stupid our stupid corporate justification for having a cheap local pass, I think is still stupid. Like if we got the fucking low in the low grade kids on the hill more, maybe they would fucking go to school and get a better test score if their mom bribes to bring them to the hill afterwards. You know what I mean? But they can't even.
I'm right there with you.
$600 for a gold pass. Their GPA doesn't even get them a cheaper pass.
To me, I always want to get people involved, but it don't make sense, right? Because we're a luxury sport. There's only 2 luxury sports in the world. It's yachting and snow skiing. So I used to work a bunch on trying to bring urban people to skiing. But then I realized none of these people have health insurance. So why the fuck would I ever want to get someone involved in this sport where they spend money to hurt themselves? And then so my question to you is, because you're passionate and young, do you see an angle of why you should get people involved in the sport? Or is it just beyond belief? Like, why would you get involved in people spending $10,000 a year for a product and playing?
I mean, that's why I think I started the company initially. So the clothing company I have, Sorta Snow, it's doing pretty well, dare I say. I'm very content with where I'm at right now, and I'm not going to say I haven't worked for it because I've worked exceptionally hard for it.
Can I ask you what very well means to you?
I have almost 7,000 followers, which is almost as much as my personal account does. So that's, I don't know. The fact that I've put so much work towards myself, my own career. The fact that Sorta, which has been going on for 4 or 5 years less, is doing almost as good. That's very good. I'm able to sell shirts. If I make 20 hoodies, they all sell, which is really
wicked.
Which is really, really cool. But I saw a hole, and I had great things to love.
What was the hole? Because now that I've seen Sorta, and it's unique and different. And I didn't analyze it. I didn't go super deep into it. But when I look at it, I feel this is only a one-time look, right? So
yeah, that's fine. Let me know.
I felt like thrift store shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
And so when
really fun. A lot of it is thrift store shit right now.
And so when I compare, because I was like, wow, this is really dope. Because who's really thrift store in a luxury market? Because I'm bugged out always right now that the luxury market wants a disposable fashion. They want $200 pair of pants that they're going to buy again next year, and they don't care it rips in day one, right? And so when I see you do what you do, I'm like, wow, is there really a market for that? So what hole did you see when you started a brand? Because your hole looks like I don't know what your lane is right now.
Yeah, so I would say at its simplest, and when my first podcast, Ethan had a good question, which was, what is Sorta? Like, what is this thing? Because the YouTube channel is definitely what I promote more than I promote my clothes is my YouTube channel. I love making videos of my friends skiing. Like, to me, I'm like, that's history to me, right? Because I'm not thinking about skiing nearly as much as I used to. In fact, I'm thinking less about skiing than I ever have in my life. But Wyatt Dorman and Quinn Noyes are going to be successful skiers. Like I saw it when I was in Michigan when they were kids, and now that they're in Colorado and they made it to Jib League finals and they're with Capiz or whatever, like it makes sense because I believe in them. So the videos to me is like I'm recording history of these like awesome, beautiful, amazing characters that I've been blessed enough to be around, and I could put it in a video, and then years from now, people can be like, "Oh, this is what Wyatt Dorman skied like back then. This is what these people skied back then." So videos are very important to me, and I love putting things to music. I think music is the best shit ever, and I think that approach to skiing wasn't really being done in the same way that I wanted to do it. Like Arsenic Anywhere was the closest thing to a clothing brand in skiing that I wanted, and it was because of the approach. It was the people they supported, the way that they supported it, and what they did. Events were super important. Street skiing was super important. Like, and that's what I was like, okay, I want that, but I want it to look like something I would wear because I love Arsenic and I wear Arsenic now. I'm sponsored by Arsenic, and thank you, Dan, for everything you've done for me this year. Like, Dan's the best. He's an awesome, like, I'm very grateful I have that phone number in my phone. If you need something, if you're running a skiing clothing brand, who else would you rather call than Talty Dan? So I'm super, super grateful. But he was making like earth tones. And
so Talty Dan is the owner founder of Arsenic.
Yes, owner founder of Arsenic.
Awesome. Yeah, I never knew that, but I've seen Talty Dan's name my whole life.
Yeah. Dan's the GOAT. Like super duper awesome guy. And I just remembered that I forgot to shout out Gavin Rudy earlier. I thought I was going to make this big statement about how great Gavin Rudy was for remembering me as a camper and then saying that he remembered me as a camper like 10 years later down the road, which he did, and nobody else did except for Gavin Rudy. So I just forgot to mention that. But anyway, Totally Dad's the best, dude, but he wasn't making shit that I wanted. I wanted spikes. I wanted skateboarding. I love skateboarding. I think skateboarding is what I should have been doing from day fucking one. If you want me to be honest, if I could go back in time, I would just start skateboarding when I was in California because I fucked up so bad. I love skateboarding. I'm not as good as skateboarding as I am skiing. I don't think I ever will be. I could try. I could probably put in 50,000 more hours, but skating's the hardest shit in the world. It's so tough and it's so cool, and I do love it. And I try to skate every day, but not as easy as the two planking, dude. That's gay and shit. That's work, but I love it, and I would love to. Like, I've thought in my life, because I got super burnt out on skiing the past 2 years. I've thought, like, what if I just go Jed Anderson and like take a skateboarding year and move somewhere and like try to film a video? I would love to do that, but
what burns you out as a 20-year-old in anything? I guess. So I think that's what's biggest different, right? I don't think I ever met a 20-year-old when I was 20-year-old in the year 2000 that was burned out. What burns a 20-year-old out now on a participation sport of opportunity? And, just curious.
I mean, I love skiing. I love skiing. And I will always ski because I love to do my dance moves. I love to listen to music as loud as possible and then be able to have a stage where I can do my dance move. And then even if one person sees it, even if nobody sees it, I'm working on my fucking move. It feels cool. And then I really do like the video aspect is, I think, more important to me than some aspect. I love watching myself third person and being like, okay, this dance move that I learned fucking when I was 12, right? Like back up, back to, I did my first one on that flat tube. Now I did it and I've perfected it to the point where it looks completely different. It's in a completely different context and I don't look like a fucking idiot anymore. Like I love skiing because of that. That being said, skating is like that as well. And there's a lot of other things where you can look at yourself third person. For me, I feel like I've put a lot into skiing. I've had a lot that you could look at. I've had a lot of reels, right? Reels. Caleb talked about reels. Holy shit, Instagram kid, whatever, right? But that's videos. I've had full length videos on YouTube. I've had short videos. I've had vertical. I've had horizontal. I've had photos. I've had pictures. And I think I've been displaying a pretty high caliber of talent and ability to put stuff out. And my life hasn't been very good. It's just,
So are you throwing that all out in the universe to try to get something in return?
I would love, I ask once. That's my thing. And I think that's another issue with skiing and another reason why I've kind of grown. And I think I haven't grown out of love with skiing. I've just realized that a lot of what skiing is, I don't love at all, and I don't relate to at all. The parts of skiing that I loved growing up, I still love. I love Harold's part in For Real. I love Color by the Bunch. Those street movies were the most important things to me because they showcased so much character, and it was music and it was dancing. I could bounce my head and then someone would land a trick to the music, and that's dopamine for me. That was the dopamine release that I cared for so much, and it was so inspirational for me that I worked my hardest to get there, and then I got there, and then I was this is why you start 1,000 skis and start posting fucking reels, and this is why Hackle does YouTuber influencer content now, is because they got to where they wanted to be, and then they were still poor, and I'm not saying that I'll ever quit skiing. I'll never quit skiing, but I've put the last 3-4 years of my life, I've put my back into this shit, dude. And I
do you
really
get burned out? Here's my biggest thing, because I'm 45. No one supports
45.
No one supports this podcast, right? We're gonna do 100 hours. Ethan's gonna put in an extra 200 hours.
People support it with their
but what I'm saying is
you're saying monetarily.
But the people that support us are people like Caleb.
Yes.
So I'm curious, do you get burned out because all of a sudden you have so much attention, so many people having opinions on what you do, but then the people in the industry just don't care, right? Is it because no one comes calling and being like, yo, because honestly, you're more I watched your skiing way after I listened to your voice and your opinions, right?
Okay.
And so when I did, I was like, wow, you deserve your opinions because you love skiing. Where I only enjoyed you originally because I was like, man, I never heard a 21, 22-year-old have an opinion in our sport for for a decade.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
For a decade plus. And then I was like, okay, well, that's gnarly because the people that used to have the loudest opinions were the people that were the biggest in our sport.
This is a great point, and I have a great point to make here. If you've been waiting this whole time for somebody to go out with an opinion, to be there's things in our space that aren't great. And honestly, I'm not that guy. I don't think I was ever that guy. Gifted Hater, the skateboarding version of what I do, he's way better because he goes at the top. He calls the names. He sees he goes for the issues that are going to get him in trouble. I worked at Wendell's. I'm much more involved in skiing than he is in skating. So I'm very careful about what I say. And people are oh, you're so edgy. You're such a hater. And it's yo, I'm not even letting out anything.
No one has opinions anymore.
I'm playing so safe. I wish somebody would come out and say actual opinions that I have that are genuine issues.
Give us one topic. Nah, USASA is safe. That's a safe topic. You can shit on that all day. Everyone hates it.
But United States of America snowboard.
Give me that question maybe a little bit later. Maybe we'll have a better answer of something that I don't like. But I've been I haven't even said my opinions yet. The closest I've gotten was in my snowboarding tier list, where I gave, and that's what I want. That's why I went to snowboarding, because I was fucking what, dude? Like, I know somebody that needs to be called out in snowboarding, but nobody else will because they're in the space. At least I'm not in the space. I'll call out that person for being whack. I got DMs saying like, hey, I know the person you're talking. Everybody knows the person I'm talking about because he's fucking a bad guy, right? But like, you know, and which, by the way, like, if you're a bad guy and I call you out, like, don't worry, change. Like, I don't hold grudges at all. Like, if you were mean to somebody or mean to me, like, or if I have a reason not to like you, like, you can change and move on. Like, don't just be mad for the rest of your life. Like you can fix yourself, but I don't even want to do a lot of the things that I want to say because, like, even at the level that I did where I was being super careful about my words and I said, dude, in my Matei clip, I said trajectory. I didn't even say he fell off. If I wanted to say he fell off, I would have fucking said he fell off, dude. I said trajectory, and still people were telling me that I told them that, like, I was so specific with my words. Trajectory. Whoo! That just means that he was going up and he maybe stabled out a little bit. You know what? He went up again. He did a fucking quad, no helmet, but still, you know what I mean? Like after that, there was plenty of people who were like, this isn't good for you. This is bad for your, be careful, Caleb. Like, you're letting opinions be, and it's like,
you're like, I'm Caleb in Northern Michigan. What should I be careful about?
Yeah, and like people were telling me that too. They're like, we're happy you're not in Salt Lake City because you would be in real big trouble. And I'm like, trouble for what? Having fucking thoughts? Like, our sport.
Wait, trouble from who?
Like, we are literally like God, dude. Skating has such integrity in it. You know what? Like, whether skating as a whole is getting fucked up by like social media, corporate bullshit, whatever, right? That's besides the point, right? Like, but skateboarding had such a great start and it has such a good integrity at its core. And skiing has none of that, dude. None of that shit, dude. No. Everybody is willing to call out everything in fucking skateboarding. You try to call out one thing.
Well, everyone in skiing is willing to sell.
You're a fucking bad guy now.
In skiing, you can sell out and you finally can afford to do the sport, right? So a sellout in the sport of skiing doesn't mean it means you finally don't need support in doing the sport that you do, other than someone that pays you. So it's a fine, like, so because of that, integrity can't last because the paycheck's always going to change who you are, most likely. Like, there's not people like Henrik who's going to turn down hundreds of thousands of dollars to ride for Ninth Ward who won't pay for him. You know, like, it's just weird and it's not going to happen ever, other than that one person. So it's
for sure.
Yeah, I don't think the integrity part happens in our sport from the athlete level to the company level.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think it's an issue.
Yeah, and that's why you can't go for it. That's why I'm just stoked on the history element, right? Because, like, if I can at least teach history and it's out here on Spotify or Apple or whatever, then it's like, it's there. You can at least listen to you now or fucking whoever and then be like, well,
there's great skiing. There's awesome skiing. And, like, what a spectacle, you know? Like, when someone does a cork 9 blunt, it's like, it's one of the best spectacles that I think that humans have been able to perform yet, you know? But if it's, and I think, like, it's a lot of, I think skiing as a whole just shoots itself in its own foot, like, all the time. I don't know who is running any of these big outerwear companies anymore, but they don't do anything ever for anyone, I don't think. Like, as a clothing company, like, I think it should be said that, like, how many of your favorite riders are even sponsored by an outerwear company anymore? And, like, if they are, like, is it one of the big ones or is it one of the ones ran by, like, fucking a Tall T Dan or a Caleb Godwin, like, in their parents' like, I'm in my parents' house, dude, trying to sell some damn hoodies.
Well, it's super interesting,
and I'm sponsoring more people than Obermeyer.
But this is how it can work right now. This is why. So just so you know, hang on, like, don't fucking leave skiing yet.
I know, I'm hanging on
because the revolution,
but they're giving me reasons to.
So when we started this shit, like in 1998, I looked at it as 1968 when hot dogging started. So I'm looking as the next revolution's happening in 2028. So when you look at how this is evolving now and exactly what you said, you know, and I'm going to big up this kid every podcast. Are you familiar with Jibskin?
Mm-hmm.
So this kid, right? He started it because he went to Wendell's when he was 16. He realized
which I was there, I believe.
Probably. And so he's only 20 now. He might be 20. Maybe he's 20. And so he's only in his second year of university. And he saw this thing going there. He's like, wow, I can produce things for people, do these drops and sell out. But dude, he took it to such a next level, like Pakistan first ring, and then go to China once you do bigger runs, and then sell out of 100 to 200 units of each time. Dude, his numbers as a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old are what, with having no employees, having no shit, dude, he makes more than my dad ever made.
Dude,
As a 17-year-old.
Henry, dude. Henry Sabella, UVM.
That's him,
Brewski,
huh?
represent.
Henry.
Yeah, he goes to Vermont now. I saw him when I was over there. He's a really good kid. He came to Hood. I think he worked at MHSSC the year, like when he turned 18. I think he's going back this year. He likes skiing a lot. And yeah, anybody who
My
cares
whole
about skiing
point
that
is be
much,
the
all
change.
love.
As stupid as it sounds, be the change you want to be, because no one's going to sponsor you, right?
No, 100%. I think
And so, like, when I watch kids that aren't even that awesome at skiing, but they realize, they're like, wow, I want to use my brain wave to fucking create this in the sport because it's missing. I'm always like, that's so ill. I'm just a fan, because like those people are doing more. I mean, more people have created a baggy pant company in the last 3 years. So the biggest thing in the 2000s was you'd create a beanie company, right? So if you were a kid, you're like, man, I'm going to start a company, a beanie company, NAF, whatever. And everyone did it. And so what I watched in baggy pant companies in the last 2 years, and they all make a lot of fucking money. They're all making $80,000 to $100,000. And so it's really fun when you watch all these small brands doing 80 to 100,000, and they're one-man shows of people that are just passionate of learning who to source material from.
And my dumb ass was like, I'm not making pants. I refuse to. That's what I said. Everybody else was doing it.
You're
I
not
was
dumb.
like, I
You're
can't
creating
do
your
it.
own lane because that it's tapped that lane,
Yeah,
right?
they were
like,
tapping that lane real hard. I couldn't tap it, but
no one has
shout
an
out.
image, right? Like Harlow Apparel. Henrik did not ski for a clothing company from 2015 until 2019 when he created it, because everyone said baggy pants are out. He didn't get one clothing sponsor. He was the best in the world. He won every fucking X Games 2013 to 2019. No clothing sponsor. And so finally he's like, all right, I'm making baggy pants. And then by 2021, every company makes baggy pants in the world.
No, it's like the year after Harlow Apparel started, every kid had Harlow pants. It was pretty quick, pretty instantaneous. They were the coolest pants in the park right away. And like that's if it's that quick, you know, if you give the power to the person that's involved, right? Henrik, dare I say, pretty involved in skiing as somebody who skied more than probably everybody will. You know,
skiing like, right now, it's fucking 7:30 at night, and he'll be on the hill till midnight tonight.
Dude, like let's talk a passion powerhouse, Henrik Harlow, right? He's involved. He's out there. You're not gonna trust him to know what's going on, and like it would have been so free. It would have been so free, and it could make a lot of people a lot of money, especially like in these big outerwear companies like Obermeyer. Fucking, I mean, we all know, is Araj even in business? What's holding them afloat anymore? I mean, they already blew it once. Like, how are they even?
All I'm going to say right now is just like drop the idea of anyone doing anything for you.
I know, I already have. That's why
I know,
I'm saying
and that's why you're so
names.
awesome.
So I'm like, yo, everybody, all those names I could name, like O'Neill, Quicksilver, like all these big companies that make jackets that they want to sell to skiers and snowboarders. Why don't you hire one of these people who does it? Like, they will at least be able to tell you what people will want, you know, because they don't want a fucking Coach jacket. Why are all these brands still making Coach's jacket? No one wants a damn Coach's jacket. No one wants like Planks clothing, dude. Like, does any skier on the planet want Planks? I like shout to who they are, like legacy brand, you know. But look at your designs, dude. Like, you could go out down the street potentially, maybe to your neighbor's house, and find somebody who would be able to figure out what designs these people fucking want, dude. But they don't do it. Instead, they're just like, yeah, let's pay this guy to make another logo that sells 2 items, and then we go out of business. Like, come on, guys, give me. You know, I'm playing, but
that's true. But that's why it's so fun right now, because like that's how we all started, because our opinions were so strong about what people weren't doing in the industry. You know, whether it was ski companies only making a 165 and a 180 centimeter. You know, like that's crazy, right? And then everyone's like, "What the fuck? Why don't you listen to us? We're not all the same heights." And so like that's what I hear what you're saying, and I find it really fun. But the saddest part to me is like
I've already given up hope. Don't think I have. I knew, like, for some reason I believed it was possible at the beginning, but like no.
You don't think so? You don't think Sorta or the brand that you represent, because you're multiple brands, right? You're a media brand, which is unreal. So you cause engagement. Now the problem is that you don't do with your media brand is you don't tell them all the dope shit you do. You don't tell us about, when I go onto YouTube, I don't learn about the awesome events that you create for the sport and for others. I don't learn about that you have a clothing company. But your media has the hottest attention for the youngest generation that is the largest consuming budget that have mommy and daddy's credit card. So if you take your media element, like even me, I forget to tell people about what I'm working on at the beginning of this show because I'm like, yo, like I got a million things that are coming out. And so like I don't use my media elements properly most of the time nowadays, but you kill it, dude. Like you're in this proper point where it's like you should have an event, you do a merchandise table. Your merchandise table selling 4,000, and you got your event for free because you're not a real event company.
I had a good merchandise table this year.
That's what I'm saying, you know. And then it's like product that people give you from sponsors. You don't ask them for money. You just like do raffles, and then like all of a sudden you have like physical space, and then what you do online, man. If your opinion is always truth, black and white, because you're not riling the thing. I get, and that's why I appreciate you. It's not like that skateboard guy you brought up, where he's just stirring the pot, right? Like
I love Joe. I think Joe does a good job, man. I think he's got a good YouTube channel.
Love stirring the pot too. But what we need to do is actually unite people, not make people hate each other, because we're so niche of a 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 niche in freestyle snow skiing, where it's like, dude, if you don't have the people get together right now, the jib skin, like, because you don't have a trade show to every Sorta and jib skin and arsenic and capiche to get together and sell side by side to a shop, right? So there's no unity in all the young people that are fucking creating ill ass shit. So that's the one thing that's missing right now. But as soon as unity happens, there's so many little people that are making ill shit happen in their communities, but it's not enough. You know?
So where I'm at right now, this is like, I need to say this at some point, and I guess this is a good time to fit it in here. Where I'm at right now, I could keep doing what I'm doing, and I think things would be very fine, like in a couple years. You know, if I kept getting better, which is the main goal of why I do everything. Like the reason I run Sorta and that I run my all my YouTube account is so I can just get reps to get better at shit. Because the end goal is to make something that people want to look at or talk about for a while, not just for a little bit. So I'm going to fill it up with whatever they'll talk about for a little bit to get my skills right, to get to the end, you know. And in skiing, I think I've done a good job of that. I think I've done a good job of building my fan base of like who I am targeting, which are people like me, like people who are interested in skiing, but maybe perhaps have more grassroots origins or are interested more so in like skating and music and like what makes those cultures so interesting as opposed to what skiing has. Now, where I'm at now, it's like, yeah, I could be a successful skiing clothing brand guy in a couple years, but I kind of want to do more. I made YouTube videos that were pretty good about something that I was involved in, and they did pretty well. But I think what people confused was that I was good at making YouTube videos. I think I'm good on camera. I think I'm good at editing a video. I think I'm good at putting it out. I think there's more to me than just like somebody who has opinions about skiing. And
but also, no, you have to understand that for yourself. You're a producer and you produce yourself fully. So that's not something you'll ever do.
So what I'm trying to do now is like the end goal with Sorta is like, I don't want to be Sorta Snow anymore. Like I want Sorta to be like a lot of cool shit, like embodied, like the embodied what I hope to embody with Sorta. Like I want to change is what I'm saying. You know, I don't want to be a skier anymore. When I was on YouTube and I was making all these skiing videos, everybody was like, Caleb, you're such a skier. oh my God, you're a fried skier who has opinions about skiing. And, you know, like, you guys, like, I had a good scholarship to college. Like, I want to be a fucking teacher. These people are talking to me like I'm some sort of fucking, like, fry ball who lives in a van and just skis all the time. Like,
Word up, I hear
like
you.
I'm running a business. These YouTube comments were treating me, and like I hated it. And I went live with Big C, who I was talking about earlier, my little buddy, my little skier buddy, and these kids, like, presumably out of jealousy, but like the people who watched me, like my fan base, they were mean. They were mean to Carter. They said mean things to him. Like they've always been kind of mean to me, but like that's kind of the joke. Like, oh, you're mean to. He's the guy. He makes jokes. You can be mean to the guy with jokes. But like, I don't want that. I want to make YouTube videos.
Negative energy.
I want to make YouTube videos about things that more people can enjoy. Like, it's about the concept and like what's behind what I do. I'm just because the driving force is going to be me regardless, right? Like the same energy I bring towards skiing, I'm going to bring towards whether I go towards skateboarding, or more likely, as I will probably go towards it. It sounds so cringe saying, because I never want to say that I'm a fucking streamer, but I'm probably going to hop on the damn live stream and I'm probably going to make videos about like how to make designs, how to make certain music things, how to make fucking like history, geopolitics. I love geopolitics. That's a great YouTube trivia.
Why don't you stream?
Because I live in a house without Wi-Fi right now, but I'm working on it.
Because like that, like I see it, like you have opinions, right? And so I'm saying that's your number one thing, and then
But right, you're listening to me rant endlessly and kind of hold your attention, whether I'm doing it well or not.
No, you
like,
are. And what I want to say is, I noticed
trying to get out of skiing, man, because they don't want me, dude. If they wanted me, they would have kept me. They would have said,
I hear you.
"Fuck yeah, Caleb, you're good."
No one wants
people who I've been trying to get their fucking love, dude, for years of my life. I have so much inside of me that I've been trying to get out, passion, and I do it at such a high level, so consistently for years, and they don't even say shit back, dude. Can you believe it? Can you fucking believe it? And they're gonna lose me, dude. Skiing is gonna lose me. Like, I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna do it, and I'm gonna bring more people to skiing than they could have ever fucking imagined. But there are people who were my bosses at Wendell's and were my I looked up to them. I asked them questions, and now they're fucking quiet, and I needed it, and I needed help, and they didn't give it, and I'm going to fucking stream it, and I'm gonna do something else. But
hey, Kayla, I totally support everything you say, man. And like, I think it's my biggest downfall is I had to deal with the negative of people not wanting me. Because my goal always, when I started, I was like, watched all my friends win X Games and buy houses. Whole career, 20 years. I never got anything. And it's like, yo, if I make a movie, like that's got to be like winning X Games. If I create this event, that's got to be like, someone's got to pay me. Never happened. So my point is, like, yeah, I mean, fuck, man. I think I had that much anger. That's why I made my first movie when I was 21. So, but I've been able to drop it, you know, because I was just like, you know, the big thing is that you brought up like the negative comments when you work with someone. I didn't have that, right? So if Tanner and I were in our world in 2003 with the internet, dude, like the hate would have been unheard of. It might have made us feel totally different at 23 and 19.
I hate comments too. Like, keep it 100. I read them too much. And like, it doesn't help that I built the audience that was commenting, because I got a lot of views that were great, and they're great people, and I love them, and I treasure my audience dearly. I don't know why the ones that are commenting are always leaving really dumb, ignorant comments.
Because that's the way you interact. You're going to interact more to someone that says "fuck you."
It kills me, though. It kills me, dude.
If someone says "I love you," you're not going to be like, "I love you too, man. Thank you." To a random person.
Yeah.
But if someone says, "fuck you, you should die," man, you're going to be like, "What? Don't follow me." And then they're like, "Yes, he talked to me." So it's in a way of interacting when not knowing how to interact with someone you don't know. And so it's like, I always like when I create art or whatever, my only goal was, I said, like, if I put a movie out, if I put a project out, you have to love me or hate me. But if you don't love me or hate me, then I didn't do anything important to the world, right? So you have a lot of hate, which is the mass conversation of social media, right? You can't win with love on social media or what you do. There's no way. You
For
know,
sure,
I
for
can
sure.
even go to the most positive dancehall reggae song in the world with 1,000 comments, and there's still going to be hate.
No, for sure. What I will say though is a lot of those comments and those people, you know, they viewed me as a YouTuber. But I worked at Wendell's for 3 years before my first YouTube video, which dare I say might be a part of the industry. I was a manager. That might be considered a part of the industry. I was sponsored. That could be considered part of the industry. So like these people were coming in like thinking that that's all I do is I talk, you know, and they were like saying, so they didn't know I was a security guy, which is fine. You know, that's fine. But I've gotten hate comments before. This was different. This was like people misconstruing what I was saying as well, which sucks.
But it's going to happen because you're only talking one direction.
Which is true, which is 100% true. But I would love an audience that is built what it seemed like to me at some points of this year, and I got a lot of great, loving, awesome feedback telling me, Caleb, you need to make more videos. I had a big drought where I didn't make any videos for a while because I was building a house, which is a great excuse, by the way. Building a house is really hard. It takes up a lot of time, and you don't have much time to make a fucking YouTube video. But I've made a couple still, you know, so but regardless, they're saying, you know, oh, you need to make more, you need to make more, you need to make more. And it's like the way they were, I don't know. I would rather
that bothers you when fans want more from you.
They were saying they were viewing me as something like when kids would talk to me, they would talk to me like I'm a stupid, idiot, opinionated hater fryball.
Yeah, but they want to hear what the stupid, idiot, hater fryball has to say.
The stupid, idiot fryball is about to make some fucking videos about the logging industry in northern Michigan, and they're gonna all unsubscribe, and I'm gonna get a fucking fan base of people who actually want to get their shit popping. Now I'm gonna make tier list videos too. Okay, I'm gonna make tier list videos too. I'm gonna make a bunch of different videos. But what I'm saying is this YouTube thing that I started that was going really well for me, and people were telling me congratulations. They were like, you made it. I was like, I made it. I have one video with 40K views, and I'm still not fucking monetized. Like it's such a pain in the ass to get monetized.
But in skiing, man, it's so false. Like everything where people think they make it. Like if we took all our favorite pros and we said, could they buy their house? Could they pay all their bills in a year? Like, to us, like when you hear you made it, it's like a false sense of popularity. It's not a real idea. Making it means like you wake up and you know that this pays the bills and you're stoked to fucking do it. And so it's a funny comment when people think that's weird. So you have young people say you've made it because you have 40,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah, I had a couple good videos. And I said I was going to keep making more videos, but then my audience was mean to my protege, which I didn't like. They were like consistently annoying to me. Like, if you want to get a new video, and I remember I used to watch Filthy Frank, this YouTuber, when I was a kid, this person, Joji, the guy who runs that account, he may have a similar life path to me in which he starts in YouTube and goes somewhere else afterwards. But you would always mention how annoying his fan base was. And I was his fan base, you know? So I got a little hurt by this. But then I read the comments and I was like, oh, he's got the worst fan base ever. Like, all these comments are annoying and I hate them. You know what I mean? I don't want that. That's why I think that's why he quit maybe towards the end. Like I don't want that I don't want to build that up. So I'm gonna make it. That's why I needed this little break, this little pause, so I can come back, reestablish. Make my video critiquing the YouTube or whatever. Raise your hand. Yes, Iberg in the front of the class.
I have a question. So what I think you should do, because I think you engage people the right way, but their negativity that engages back, because the views are there, the content is there, you're black and white, and you're telling truth. You're not like saying fuck this person. Turn off the comments.
Yeah, I've stopped reading them.
Turn them off on all your platforms, man. Because I think the content you create, people want, and I think the problem is just your fan base doesn't know how to socially engage on People don't know that you hold a door for someone. People don't know that you let people out before the people come in. So if you're expecting someone to be polite in an internet comment, I
Which
think
I'm
you're
not.
fucking lost.
Which I'm not. I was on the internet. I've been a skier that's been receiving, hey, your back fours are bad for many years before I started a YouTube channel, and it's fine. What I didn't like is like the misconstruement. Like people think I don't like Mate. People think like things that I said aren't like people misconstrue jokes. People misconstrue. I don't want to be like people are taking me as more negative than I am. You know,
Let's get to it, Ethan.
People will come to me and be like, "Yo, like, hit me up, like, hate on this person in front of me now."
I got
like,
so many.
I don't want to hate on anybody.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
give me a bunch of questions. Give me rapid fire questions. I'm ready, dude.
We're going to give you a great real life experience right now about how your opinion is very true and how it actually matters to people that actually fucking care in life. Ethan, do you want to tell the story?
Are we talking the Mate story?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mate, and I got some other thoughts on what we were just talking about, but I want to tell us the Mate story while we're on the topic. We just had him on the last podcast, and we asked him about the whole Mate fell off allegations. And this is what he told us. He goes, Caleb was saying something that my mom had told me 2 weeks earlier, and they were both right. So you picked at him in a way that his mom did in the same way that he felt was true, and that's why he took it so personally.
I knew
Point being is your opinion. If someone said "fuck you," why'd you say that about Mate or "fuck you"? The only person that opinion should have mattered, Mate. The person that could have called you out, right? And he even explains when you listen to that conversation we had, it motivated him so hard to do that shot without the helmet and flick the camera off because his mom and you motivated him. No one heard his mom's opinion on the internet. You were his mom's opinion on the internet, which was true, black and white, the truth. And so I want to make sure this is really nailed home to you because you're not a hater. But you have hater fans.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's no way I would ever.
I need to like what I needed. What I needed is I needed to compute what I wanted to be more before I got into it because I got into it doing what I wanted to do essentially, which was make funny skiing videos, and what I got in return was something that I didn't want. So now I will still make the funny skiing videos. Like no one else will. People have been trying to, and they suck and they're bad. Like just so you know, if you want to make a tier list video like Caleb's iPhone, you probably suck and are bad. Like it's okay.
Does anyone do this?
There's been a couple. God bless their souls. They went for it. But I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna do all of them. I'll do every single one I can. I want as many views from the skier thing as I can get. Okay, but it's gonna be every other video for a while. I'm going to slowly branch off into things that I more personally watch because I don't watch skiing videos anymore. My YouTube has.
And can I suggest that you use your ski platform but create something that's not skiing, right? Like if you have a passion, because you're so into this niche of skiing, where if you have this other passion, tell people, hey, I just started this new YouTube channel. I'm going to talk on other non-ski stuff.
I know, and I'm so deep in the niche. I need to get out.
Yeah, but you can get out, but you can own it, right? So you can own this niche and then get out and then be like, wow, that doesn't feed my soul at all.
You're my conscious right now, Eric. You're Yoda. You're like, this is what I've been telling myself. This is what I needed. Thank you.
Yeah, because I think
my Yoda right now.
To me, I don't find any fun. Like I don't feel like I'm in the industry for 25 years. I don't feel like someone says, wow, thank you. They say, what else are you going to do? And then it benefits them and like they don't give a fuck. 25 years, 27. And so I just don't think you should give up because it's so fun. The fact
I could never give up.
But I mean on ski side, because obviously you love it. Right? So it's a personal passion. And so when you realize you have a personal passion in this luxury sport that's a niche and only 4 months of your whole life in Michigan, like, I don't know, it's like this crazy little world because then whatever you do in the logging world and talk about, and you'll be like, oh, I make ski stuff too. They're like, snow skiing? And it's crazy because it's like saying like, oh, I went out in the yacht this weekend. It's the same thing to anyone outside of skiing, right? No, and that's what's really fun to learn as I get older. I'm like, wow, people think like I should be the richest person in the world because I traveled the world and made ski movies and started a ski company. And like they have no comprehension that like it was 100% passion and everything was lost.
Most definitely. I mean, my passion I think lies more in creating than it does necessarily skiing itself anyway. But I could never stop skiing because I'm too good at it. Shit,
I got to ask you something.
I'm saying don't stop.
So yeah, hit me, Ethan. I know your little face, your little mustache face in the bottom right corner has been begging to ask.
I got to ask this question.
Let loose.
Well, I'm wondering, like, what's the why for everything that you do? Because it seems like you're measuring success based off of. It seems like popularity first, and then monetary, second. And I feel like that's just like that's the formula for getting burnt out. Like if the why you're doing is for people to love you, that's like the easiest way to be like, all right, I hate this shit. Because like Iberg was saying, the only time people are really commenting is when they want to talk shit. Like it's very rare.
Well,
very rare someone's leaving a love comment. It's mostly a hate comment.
Maybe it got misconstrued. Maybe it like the community of which I was building. It seemed that everybody from my YouTube community in which they would reach out and talk to me about YouTube or talk to me about something related to it was negative. So it wasn't. It's not that there was bad comments because there's a lot of great comments, you know, and there's a lot of also the bad comments are hilarious. Like hate comments are the funniest shit in the world. Like they're super wrong and they're, you know, like I think that shit's enjoyable to read. I love those hate comments. What I don't like is just, you know, useless negativity or just like spreading like I don't like people misconstruing my own personal thoughts or like thinking that they know me or putting themselves in my shoes and trying.
Dude,
I don't know that.
Me and Iberg record hundreds of hours of audio. Like that shit just happens. People are gonna miss.
I know. And that shit drives me mad. But what I want to do is like why I took a break from YouTube is one, I didn't have time to make videos. I didn't want to make videos. If I'm not gonna want to make a video, why the fuck would I ever make a video? That's how I'm super passion driven in that sense. I'm super passion driven in the sense that I only want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. So if my YouTube videos are getting really a lot of views and a lot of people are commenting saying they want more, if I don't want to do it, you know, I'm not going to do it. And if I don't want to do it because I'm working on building a new house, that's another reason. If you want to add more reasons by like being in my DMs and saying like, hey, fuck you, I need a new skiing video.
No, what you need to do right now is turn off comments. Because imagine if you were like Candide, right? Candide just did. Imagine how many people write Candide every day. Give me a new
Eric,
fucking edit.
I think you're misconstruing what I'm saying, man.
Edit.
I think you're misconstruing what I'm saying, man.
Don't read that shit, dude. Like if you were a rarity, right? And you didn't really like have these feelings or read these messages or have them allowed to make the messages and you just pop up after 6 months and you had personal satisfaction in building a house and then you're like, whoa, I'm ready. I didn't read anything. Bam! They'd be like, "What? You're back!"
I think you guys are misunderstanding the level with this was. There wasn't much like, "Hey, Caleb, like, good work. I support you. You look good on camera, and I like it when you said this thing." Like, I don't know. It was all,
no, I get it. There's no one that supports. The only people that are going to support is your little homie.
I don't want to do it. Listen, dude. I've given skiing everything the past 4 years. Like, I got out of high school. And I had a college scholarship. And shit was popping. It was looking good. It was looking good for your boy. And I hated skiing at my college. So I quit. And I put it all towards skiing for 3 years. And I did great shit. And I made great progress. And I got to exactly where I wanted to be. And right where I am, or we're not where I am anymore, but where I was when I got to where I wanted to be, I took a step back. And I was like, I got a fucking phone full of people asking me for shit. And I got a fucking community of people who want me to be mean to people on the internet. And that's not what I wanted. So I took a fucking break. And I'm going to come back.
I'm gonna
let people know. I'm gonna say, hey, if you're gonna give that shit, like, especially if you're live streaming, that's not a comment. That's a person talking to you. If you're gonna come with that, like, if we're pushed, like, because I get it, like, negativity is essential. Like, we need to be negative. We need to be critical. If nobody checks anybody, then nobody knows, like, what other people actually think or what the general consensus of a group might be. We need to be critical, and I think negativity is super essential, and I think you should let me be a little negative on camera while you fucking watch, and then be negative and have conversations with your friends and, like, be negative in a positive way. Like, don't be like, hey, fuck this guy, fuck you, kill yourself. Like these things that people tell all these people on the internet, and the what I heard, it's like you get in this fucking chamber. And like if I want to please these guys, right? If I want to get likes and views and comments, and all my comments, I hate them. I don't want to fucking do it anymore. So saying. I'm making more videos.
I couldn't do it
and they're gonna be awesome. And like, yo, after this podcast, there's gonna be a lot of positive comments in my comments. Like, don't get twisted. Like they're gonna be like, oh, this guy clearly needs it because all we have are these 14-year-olds who are insecure going to his tier list videos to try to make themselves feel cooler than other 14-year-olds on the hill, which is what I perceived was happening with my skiing videos.
Yeah, you
I had kids coming up to me, and they would be like, "Hey,"
uselessly negative audience rather than like,
dude, they would just tell me they agreed with my opinion. They would be like, "Hey, this is a good company. Hey, this person's a bad guy. Like, we don't like him, or this ski company is a bad company." And it's like you're just agreeing with me. You're not saying anything new. You're not asking any questions. And like you're just doing it to be cool, so you can go to the hill and be like, "Oh, Caleb's iPhone said this is cool. I'm cooler than you." It became this big cool competition, and I'm stressed out about being cool. I work hard to be cool all the time. I do cool songs on cool skiing tricks and whatever. Like I care about it greatly. That's why I'm able to talk about it. But like that's not what it's fucking about, dude. At the end of the day, skiing's about going out there, taking the video of your friend and watching it back and being like, we can do it better. We can make something. We can have fun. We can be outside, outdoors, and create things with our friends and make something meaningful. And that's what skiing is to me. It's not about, oh, I want to buy jet skis so I can act like I'm better than this other kid in my class, which is what it seemed like my YouTube videos were being for. And all those 40K views, I love them. Thank you guys for watching my videos. I appreciate you guys. But a lot of them, I think, were teenagers who were just trying to, come to the mountain first day of fucking the year in their S tier ski pants and their S tier jacket, and then be like, "Hey, Caleb's iPhone." Yeah, and then people are like, "Oh, do you hate Doso? Oh, do you hate?" Like, no, I don't. If you're out there skiing, like it's a country club sport, it's a yacht club sport. Like those kids are just put there to be outside. Like, don't bully them because they're from a different place than you. Like in Michigan, it's polarizing, right? There's people like me who are from, a pretty middle class position, dare I say, in the world. And then there's Boyne Mountain on the property in the mega mansion, 4 stories with 3 garages, and it's your winter house. But I know you got questions, Ethan. If you got a list, if you want.
Yo, Ethan, I need my 2-hour questions. I know it's only 11 o'clock for you, but it's 1 o'clock, and I'm almost done with my 40. Give me 30 seconds. World's smallest bladder.
Do your thing. I mean, Iberg, you stepped away from actually this.
I did. I took my 5-year break.
Yeah, exactly. Iberg took a break from skiing himself. Why?
But that was after fucking 18 years.
Yeah,
got a little coconut milk on me.
Yeah. So, Iberg, before we get into the viewer questions, that's actually a good point because you were where he was at one point, where you took a complete step away from skiing after being in it. So, what motivated that?
Babies, foreign wife, illegal alien.
So real life shit.
Basic.
Yeah.
Other than that, man.
Yeah, that's actually kind of the same vibe I'm at. I actually just I got a couple kids coming my way in Papua New Guinea, so I got to get over there soon.
Don't throw the curve, man. I was able to do child number 1, 2013. Still pulled off the demo tour, a couple B&E invitationals, a couple other the fucking J ski, fucking a bunch of shit. But then when Baby 2 came out after being inspired, it was like, yo, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know. I had skills. I have a lot of skills that I've built through working towards Sorta that I think if I applied towards other things, like I could also
kill it. It's such a pigeonhole, the ski world, right? And I don't think it can bring real fulfillment.
But I would rather bring other shit into skiing. You know what I mean? Like the end goal is like not me. It's not me quitting skiing, or like you said, like a 5-year break. Or like Jed Anderson, who's, the coolest guy in the world, if y'all don't know, the snowboarder. He took a year off of snowboarding to be a fucking pro skater, which is like an option that I don't have. Keep it 100. But like, that's like, he did something that's debatably just as good and like also like beneficial. Like what if I took a month off and I found God and I came back and I tripled? You never know.
or whatever. But even if you built a house, that's kind of like finding God, so you know. But if you go quiet online, right, and you do what you do, and so I'm saying like you can find
I was still so loud, just not on YouTube, and everyone.
But I'm just saying, like, it seems too dramatic right now for where it should be in your life because you're killing it. and I'm bummed on that because it's just like, man, like not like, dude, like everything we do is so. I hate not finding the word I need to in 2020.
Arbitrary? That might be the word.
Sure, everything is just like whatever, man. So it's all like this special privilege. Anything you do in skiing is a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that means you took time out of your life to not go build a house, have your job, do whatever. And then you put extra effort into it. And so then you're like, wow, I created that privilege for myself. My parents gave it to me, whatever. But it's just like, if you ever get bummed on a privilege, it's just like, God damn, man, step back. Like really like look back, be like, don't do the privilege no more then, man. Like think about how much time and money you would have if you didn't do that privilege.
That's true. I'm in like such a great spot. Like I was in a great spot at the beginning of this year to like be a YouTuber, and I just like was able to not do it because I like wasn't ready. So I'm very grateful and I'm very blessed. So I'm very lucky to be where I'm at. I'm very lucky to be at where I'm at. But the way I thought of it was like if I put this amount of time towards like something else, maybe I would be able to like put more gas in my tank, because money was a really big issue for me this year, unfortunately.
No, and you would. You're super talented. Obviously, you work super hard, right? But at the same time, what I'm saying, why we have you on this show.
But I'm in skiing, boy. Don't trip. I'm here. I'm here. You'll see clips of me till I can't walk.
I'm just saying, turn off the comments and stay loud.
Yeah,
because the whole idea is if you're loud and you're out there, people watch you. You know, like I didn't have comments when I released a VHS tape. I didn't have comments when I released a DVD.
Mm-hmm.
But it might have been. I might have made the most hated movie of 2004. You know, so let's do inflation, right? In 2005, a year after I put out a movie, I had SBC skier in Canada write a whole page movie review on how bad my movie was. Okay, so imagine this is 2005 now. There's not internet. Now this publication that I know charges $10,000 a page ad wrote a whole page about how bad my movie was a year after. I'm like, does anyone even remember the movie the year before? But it didn't feel bad when someone hated me.
Mm-hmm.
I was always like, this is so awesome. You're talking about me still. Where now it's so wild to see the hate. Because
I would love to get hated by new schoolers. But new schoolers
I didn't even post that we're talking to you on new schoolers because I was so disgusted on Ahmet and Mataj's questions, where I was like, wow, this isn't even like a fun interaction. So how you say you
that
don't
place
like
is pretty weird. Yeah, that's true. YouTube.
Is that why you didn't post the viewer questions question for Caleb's episode on new schoolers?
I didn't post because I was just like, dude, everything about Matt was like some crazy, like, we hate you. And I was like, dude, isn't this a skiing website? And then everything I typed about Mataj, it was like a third of them were about like how they want to have his babies. And then I was like, yo, I just want to talk about skiing.
I think I would have been a good in between though, Eric. I think it would have been half hate me and want to kill me and half want to have my baby.
I get it, but I was just over it because at least Instagram like held like good questions.
It's because Instagram's tied to their face and their name.
There's actually like scary questions on Instagram. I wonder if you picked the scary ones, Ethan.
We should do them all.
We can definitely do a few.
There's some ones on there that I was like,
let's see. Actually, while I'm looking through these questions, my favorite thing about Caleb is that Caleb, like Howard Stern, finds odd people and brings them into his circle. Could you put the world onto who Phelan is and tell us a little bit about Phelan, bro?
That's the weirdest.
I can't put on Phelan if I also don't put on Phoenix as well.
Yeah, you got to put on both. You got to put on
Phoenix
both.
Phoenix has similarly went off the grid recently and has been hard to track down. But I know
just so Iberg knows. So my friend Annabelle.
I don't know how much Phelan would want I don't know how much Phelan would want disclosed about him. He's a real private fella, but he's a great skier with an interesting.
He won a video
story.
contest. So my friend Annabelle put on a video contest at Mount Hood last year.
I just watched that.
This kid who has no social media, he might not even have a smartphone. Homeboy won the whole thing, and it was a fan voted social media contest, and kid doesn't even have social media.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have a smartphone.
Yeah,
Like,
so just give Iberg a couple things about this kid that shreds that.
Yeah, I'll try to do it in a way that Phelan's an epic guy. Like I really look up to him. He's super inspirational to me. But he is like somebody who wouldn't appreciate me if I didn't say something about him the right way. But he's a skier dude from Minnesota. He films with Number One Suspect in Duluth.
He comes to the B-Dog event the last.
Yeah, he comes to the B-Dogs event.
Yo,
he has the locks. He's got the locks. He's he's insane.
Big fan.
Yeah, once you see him ski, you don't need an Instagram to like remember him because you see him
his
ski,
edits are wicked
forever. So yeah, Phelan's just
he's off the grid. Off the grid.
He's pretty much completely off the grid. He's for like his upbringing was off the grid, and he continues the off the gridness.
So what is your connection if he's a Minnesota guy and you're in Michigan?
Dude, he just like I don't know how the fuck me and Phelan became friends. Dude, he ends up like the first year I was at Hood, he ended up at the Airbnb because I had Forrest Turtle, who's an equally mysterious and strangely named person. Forrest Turtle and Phelan Coldwater, both in my Airbnb. And I knew about Phelan. We met at, I think, the not super unknown, level 1 rail jam that they were doing at the time at Trollhog, and I met him there. He was skiing insane, and he was scary. Like, I didn't want to talk to him. But then I talked to him, and he wasn't that scary. And we ended up becoming kind of cool. I got him to Sorta sessions. Like, that was a big deal. Like, getting off the grid Minnesota, like, core street skier, woodsman to Sorta session in Michigan. Like, that was super sick. But I haven't talked to him in a while. Hope to meet up with him at Hood, though. That's my dog.
And Phoenix?
Phoenix is from nearby. He's just like this little shitter kid who, like, I don't know if he would have skied if it wasn't for us. I mean, Mount Holiday, it's where a lot of the notable northern Michigan skiers come from, like Wyatt Dorman and Quinn Noyes, who if you haven't heard about, you'll hear about soon. He came from the same mountain, but, like, I don't know what he's up to now. He moved to Oregon. Maybe he just climbs. I don't know if he's still skiing, but another just like generational skiing talent that is from mysterious origins and disappeared almost as quickly as he came. But they're here to stay. Who knows what they'll get up to in the future? But
yeah,
hopefully make it into this year's Mount Hood Sorta video. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm very interested in all the skiers you have under your umbrella. It's impressive.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who wants to be my friend. Like, I feel like I'm I was always so worried growing up that I was unlikable, but I've been able to create like a pretty impressive web of like random peers in skiing. So I'm very grateful for everybody who listens to me fucking talk.
I'm gonna use this comment. Shout out to everyone who wants to be my friend. That's ill, man. I appreciate my friends too. I'm
super grateful. Like, I moved a lot growing up, so I had to remake friends a lot. So I was worried that one time maybe I won't get them back. So I'm very grateful that. And I live like, yo, let me flip the camera. Like this is my pasture at my farm. That's a Windex bottle, actually. But this is a pasture, at my farm. Like, I don't have many friends nearby. I got like 3 within like 30 minutes drive.
I think something happened with the mic when you flipped it around. Let's see if we can get you back nice and loud.
Huh?
There you go.
You got me?
I got you now.
Yeah, sorry.
We can go through a couple of these.
Yeah, I'll be quick, hopefully.
Let's see. I mean, you want to talk about Sorta? You want to talk about your YouTube channel? You want to talk about stories? I'll just brief Sorta Snow. I have a Depop that I do now, which has been going well.
Caleb's iPhone YouTube, Sorta Snow YouTube. Sorta Snow YouTube has the videos that I care about. You don't want to watch those. You want to go to the Caleb's iPhone one, probably. More of those videos coming soon. My Instagrams, you'll find those are the same names. And I make clothes. Like, that's the most important thing. I make stuff. You know, if I video,
I'll give you a
camera,
question.
Clothes.
I'll give you a question about every business owner's favorite question. How does somebody get on Sorta Snow? That's from Ja Cork.
It's a good question. It's super easy. But the best way is probably not to ask, bro. Asking's really bad. Like I'm a notorious real Insta sponsor. Like, that's how you get sponsored by me. So like, if you have a clip in a video that I watch that I like, or if I just stumble upon your footage naturally and I like it, you get sponsored pretty much right away. It's not
what if they tag you in their reel just so to draw the attention?
Dude, that shit never works. It never will work. I hope everybody who does that knows that shit does not work. I mean, so I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do. Like, if you're doing a front two, but you tag me, you're still doing a front two, my friend. Like, it's a good front two, and you're from Ohio. Congratulations, but you gotta give me that tag in a couple years, and maybe it'll amount to something a little more.
What's your Jeffrey Brown? What's your craziest Wendell's experience? And also tell everyone what your job was at Wendell's. You were working there.
Yeah, so first year was hell year. They had us working as a coach and a counselor, which was an awful idea, as they soon learned. But you would also assume they would learn that it's an awful idea to make the employees pay for their pass, which they're doing this year. So if you work at camp this year, you got to pay for your own passes. Which, I love camp. Don't get it wrong, but I'm not going to work there if that's a thing. So that wasn't a thing yet when I worked there, thankfully. But they did make us work like dogs the first year. So I made it through somehow. I had a great time. Second year came back as just a counselor, which was infinitely chiller. But as this was going on, I became the announcer, which is probably what Ethan wants me to say. Maybe I was the announcer. I yelled into the mic. And
Somebody was just wondering what your craziest...
What, at nighttime events?
Every event meeting, I was the announcer. Okay. So anytime they needed someone to yell and be exciting and not swear, or because I went to Christian school, I have the ability not to curse, which many of these freestyle athletes do not have. So I was able to get mic'd up and not drop a swear word. But I was a counselor the second year, which was awesome. I loved being a counselor. And then the third year I came back as a manager. I was the activities manager. So I got to be an announcer and plan the activities, which was super sick. And I loved my time there. I got to ski 3 summers and meet a bunch of awesome people, and I loved everybody I got to work with. And
Jeffrey Brown's wondering what your
is it called Wendell's anymore?
It's still Wendell's. It's stupid, though. This is stupid, and I'm going to say this is stupid. And I think the people who are my bosses should just take this as not me being rude to you guys and down-talking you, but just giving you a little bit of advice secondhand, you could say. I would change your name, y'all. They have Wendell's, High Cascade, Milepost 45, and Seek Skate Camp. It's all the same summer camp.
What is Way East? Isn't Way East?
East, that's the academy program. So they have 5 separate entities under one thing, which is called We Are Camp. But We Are Camp, you don't want to say that. You don't want to be like, yo, we're pulling up to We Are Camp. You want to say we're pulling up to Wendell's or High Cascade, but they can't make up their mind. So instead they opted with 5 options. Keep it 1 option. But my craziest story there, dude, there's so many good stories. One time Zeb told a kid to this is a good story. So I worked with Zeb my first year. Shout out to Zeb Powell, who's like if you think snow sports is on time with being right and being with the times and supporting the right people at the right time, you're wrong. Because Zeb Powell worked with me at High Cascade my first year. The best snowboarder that everybody talks about, literally the face of snowboarding, black snowboarder, Zeb Powell, the best one, X Games. He worked with me as a co-worker at fucking High Cascade, which is so funny. And, next year he came back and he was Red Bull and took a private jet or whatever. I don't know what the fuck he's on now, but he was working with me and he was up top leaving the Bob and everybody was leaving. And when the indoor skate park called Bob closes at 8, but the outdoor one stays open till 9 because there's still light. So they got kicked out. And as they're getting kicked out was the high ollie contest, which goes on like right outside. Big hill bomb, and then we do like fly out style, so these kids can ollie over like 10 boards to make it, gnarlier, so that they could maybe hurt themselves, which is what it's all about at camp, right? So it's like fly out, and it already is like 10 boards high. Zeb Powell's got the scooter kid up top, like clearly not a good scooterer either. And it's like, this is so funny. Like, Zeb didn't even know what he was doing. But, like, if Zeb Powell asks you to do something, like, hey, scooter kid, jump over 10 skateboards. I am about to be, like, literally, like Michael Jordan. Like, I'm about to be the most famous snowboarder in the world. No pressure. You should jump over those skateboards. Scooter kid drops in, mobbing, straight lines it. Ankle snapped in half, clip of it. Like, it was real bad. Like, homie literally like soared over these 10 boards, left his scooter in the air, just went straight to a ankle roll. Like, somehow thought he didn't break it. They had to bring him like at 4 a.m. It was a whole bit. But like, the funny part was like Zeb being like, hey, you think you got that? And this kid being like, oh, I don't know. And he was like, oh, you could maybe do it. And him being like, yes. Yes, Zeb Powell.
No, it's the power of the super pro, man. That's like a cool power, right?
But he was an employee, dude. He still worked there.
So he was just a great coach, like someone that the kid looked up to.
Well, like, he was a super pro still, but like, it is. Okay. I just thought it was so insane that like they had Zeb Powell building bunk beds with us. I'm like, shouldn't they have Zeb Powell like on the massage table right now? Like, this is snowboarding's best one.
That's where you learn the reality of the sport, right?
That's where you learn the reality of the sport, is when you're on the bottom of the bunk bed of a Red Bull X Games gold medal.
Dude, everyone who worked at Wendell's in my era in the early 2000s, it was the rat-infested area of the arc, right? So, like, the floorboards were rotted. There was rats, like, and these were the best in the world. We're living in the nastiest places we ever seen.
Did you work with Archer or no?
No. Big up Travis Erdman. Travis Erdman is the creator of the ski program in Wendell's. And so he was a guy that's from Hood River, born and raised military guy, fucking just amazing human. And he saw the vision and he brought everyone in. So like the first 10 years, it was all this individual that was like, hey, Tim Wendell. He's like, hey, like, skiers are cool too. And then, it was pretty dope, man.
Some Wendell's knowledge on your ass right there. I like that.
Because Wendell's was a snowboard only, and so High Cascade
and then they got him in.
High Cascade up in government camp hated skiing. And so Tim was...
And now they're on campus. It's weird. High Cascade, that's like a whole nother thing. I need to talk about that in a YouTube video. Because High Cascade used to be something...
So you're saying skiers are at High Cascade nowadays?
High Cascade's at the same campus. So in my cabin is snowboarders and skiers now. So I'm a counselor to both. Which is like kind of like homogenous and beautiful in a way. But also like High Cascade isn't as cool as it used to be. Like, I'll just be completely upfront there. Like, the High Cascade that a lot of the people went to growing up, like, is not what it was. So.
Oh, we hated them, dude. They would straight up be like, fuck skiers. They would walk through government camp because we'd have like a Dina Star house, a Rosnell house, a Solomon house.
Yeah.
So in the early 2000s, all the skiers would stay in government camp. And then High Cascade would just walk around and be like, fuck you guys. And so it was the craziest vibe because like Mount Hood was a snowboard hill.
No, for sure.
And when we came,
and now it definitely isn't. And there's definitely like snowboard OGs that are pretty bummed about that. But any other viewer questions we want to get through, Ethan?
Let's do two more because I'm hogging up a comment space that I gotta get out soon.
Yeah, no worries.
What's your best and most fried experience as a member of Boyne Mountain Parks? That's from Captain
Kevin Langlands. Yeah. This is Kevin. I was hoping this one wouldn't get asked either. I mean, like, this is like my employer, Kevin. So fried experience means just like silly experience, of course. Yeah. But marijuana consumption is tied to freestyle skiing. So oftentimes the experiences in our terrain park itself are pretty fried. But I mean, like Boing Boys, the Instagram account we run has a lot of gold on it. Like that's our park crew silly Instagram account that had like there's a video of me on like a snowboard with ski bindings where I do a flip on it. There's like some of the best falls in Boyne history are on there. So if you want to see like firsthand like some of the craziest shit that's ever happened at Boyne, that's it. But I would say like the craziest thing that I ever saw was like, oh my god, yo, can I? Shoot, I wish I could. Can I put it on the screen? Could you edit it in? Okay, this might be the craziest thing I've ever saw. I'm just going to show you this right now, just because of how recent this is. I don't know if this is still, like, if this went as viral as it should, but there is this clip we got this year. 2,000 likes, not nearly what it should get. Look at this kid.
Oh.
This might be the most fried thing.
Yo, you know what I get most bummed on, Caleb? Like there's this, so they have a thing called Highland Fail Instagram.
Yep.
And it's just people at Highland Hills dying every single day. Right? And so I imagine always trying to be like the illest skier or snowboarder at Highland. And I'm like, I'll never get more likes than the kid that dies every night at my
100%.
hill. And so it's a very interesting Midwest thing. Because the Midwest thing, like now you could like be the nerd as an 8th grader, go to your hill, straight up just post and get clips. And the guy, say Willie Borm, I use him as an example. Willie Borm goes to a World Cup in Minnesota, goes to somewhere across the world, places top 10 in a World Cup. And no one knows who he is when he goes back to his local hill, but 5 guys died.
I didn't know who, I learned who Willie Borm was like last year. I was like, I didn't know there was this like Olympic guy from Minnesota.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude, he has to compete against everyone dying every day. There's 5 clips that got at least 1 million views.
For sure.
And I'm like, yo, you just flipped off that rail, Willie? No one cares.
But I would say the most fried thing, like that fall was pretty fried, but they built a sky bridge over our terrain park, which definitely I think has it beat. So like building the bridge was pretty crazy. We had a snow tunnel this year. That was pretty fried. We do work at Boyne Mountain Terrain Parks. We're not fried. We're dialed. I mean, if you've ever been to our parks, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it pretty confidently. And listen, you're a Midwest person, Eric. I would love if you came and like said that I was right. We might have the best park in the Midwest. So if you want to come,
coming? Did I say where did I tell you we're going for a B-dog off the leash next year?
I don't know, but I was supposed to pull it this year, but we'll talk about that maybe after the show, because I should have came this year. I'm sorry that I didn't.
No, but we have a Michigan spot.
Well, I'll pull
up. We already have a. I'm going to tell you right now.
But Boyne's the shit. Shout out to Boyne Mountain Parks. And should we do one more, Ethan?
Yeah, we'll do one more. This is from Steve's Dog, which I think.
Hey, wait, Pine Knob, February 26th. We go in there. So Michigan people.
PK's the shit. Shout out to Matt Dunn.
All right, Steve's Dog, which I think is Henry Sabella, which is Jibskin. And this will be the one wraps it up. Most valuable thing you've gotten out of skiing, and most valuable thing you've given to skiing.
I thought this was a really wholesome question, and I want to say to Henry on the podcast that I will move Jibskin up a tier. If we do a redo of the outerwear tier list, I will move it up a tier. I apologize, and say it again. The most valuable thing skiing's given me. I mean, shoot,
and then the thing you've given skiing.
A place to like. I love the ski lift. I love to talk. I like a place to go. Like the skate park and the ski hill are a place that's always there. That if at any point in my day it gets really shitty and like I want to give up on everything and just go somewhere and have a better day, I can do that and my friends will be there. So that's the most valuable thing skiing has given me, is like a place to gather with people who at least have something alike with me. And it's also been good for me to figure out like how much I have alike with other people. You know, I meet because like we said earlier, it's a yacht club sport to a lot of people. You know, a lot of my friends who I meet on the ski hill are from super different economic backgrounds than I am. I mean, Boyne's the most successful and like expensive ski resort in the state of Michigan. So whereas my ass is, fucking making this snow tunnel, pushing this rail lip, fried doing a 2P4, I got Timmy from the Charlevoix Chicago Club next to me too. So I think like a gathering place and a place to meet people who have something in common that we can talk about as an icebreaker, and then I can be like, oh, okay, we're all boys, like, and then I can make friends. I love the friendships and the relationships. That's what skiing has done more than anything else for me. And the most important thing I've given to skiing is I've made some cool hats, I think. I think I've made some cool beanies.
But so
the spring video 2025, when it comes out, that'll be the best thing I've given to skiing.
Word. Well, Iberg and I are gonna let you go so we can record an outro. But
yeah, no, appreciate y'all. I want to say this. Is there anybody left? Is there any ski podcasts still kicking?
Yeah, there are.
They're not inviting me to the fucking podcast. So yo, shout out to the damn old head, new head. Shout out to Eric. I mean, like, unintentionally kind of starting my skiing career. Like, if I got bullied off the hill, if I pulled up to the ski hill in vocals when I was a kid, I wouldn't still be skiing. But instead, I had the damn inspired One Love, and I was in. So thank y'all so much. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the good questions, and thanks for everything y'all do.
Yeah, man. Thank you for what you do, man. Know that even if it's only a small step in your life, and you did skiing in a year or two, man, like, you obviously made a difference.
I'm always skiing as a hobby, even if it's not the life passion. But hey, grateful for everything. Grateful for all of y'all. Have a good outro. Sorta Snow forever. Sorta radio, bitch.
You just hung up on him?
Nah, he hung up.
Okay. I was like, damn, you don't give a fuck. You gotta get out of here.
Nah, he did the mic drop. What'd you think?
Kid. I was stoked. It was fun. It was refreshing. It was zero idea of what we were getting into.
Yeah, that was definitely the most different episode.
And I think my biggest outtake is I'm bummed on the idea of creation causing sadness because of reaction. I think that's what I took out of it the most. I was like, holy cow, that guy put so much and he's already jaded.
Yeah.
I was like, no fucking way. Like, I was like, and I have a list, man. I have a list of people that hated me this week after 20 some years of life. And I was just like, and so I was looking at it, I was like, fuck, man, like, how do you have the motivation as a 22-year-old to keep going when, like, the whole idea is most people aren't going to be into what you do, you know? I don't know. It was very interesting to listen to him talk. I was stoked to have him on.
It was very much a conversation with a young man that's trying to figure things out.
Yep. And I was stoked that he was open to say it all. And
yeah,
we got to listen.
That's a classic new head experience right there, trying to figure it out. And not
I think he was the most honest one. He was the most honest one about it, right? Because he totally doesn't have a fucking clue what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll figure it out.
As none of us do.
Yeah. Nah, he'll figure something out. I have high hopes for Caleb. He's a talented guy, and it's funny to check in with him and see the status of everything. What's the DPH? What's the DPH we got for this episode?
So we are at 2 hours and 40 minutes. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 in less than 3 hours.
You're like on track for 3 DPH.
Yeah, more than 3 DPH. It's about 3.25.
Word. Do we even know who we're having on next?
Yeah, we're going to either have Marie Martin or we're going to do some French people next week. Yeah. We're going to do 2 old heads because we just did 2 young heads in a row. We got Marie Martineau and Julien Renier Laforge on deck. These are the pioneers.
Is Julien confirmed? Is Julien confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing this. Let's do it.
So next week we got 2. So yeah, we're going to talk to these guys. If you don't know them, man, Google it before we talk to them. Julien Renier, co-founder of Armada, helps out Black Crows, like influential first pro model, put a grind plate in his Rosno pro model ski other than Chris Osnes. So I think he was the second ever pro model ski in our sport. Marie Martineau, I met her when she was 15, and she did like rodeo sevens in Vars at age 15 in the year 2000 or 1999. So she was like Sarah Burke on crack in the Europe element. So I'm just stoked, man. We're going to have great 2 more talks. Keep going.
This would be great. Yeah, so as everyone knows, we're not doing the format we did last year. Whoever we can get, whenever we can get them, we'll do 2 old heads in a row, 2 new heads, 1-1, whatever it is, whatever the combo is. So we'll keep charging along. All right, we'll leave it at that. Everybody check out the links that are in the bio. Hopefully we got some stuff in there for you. And thanks for listening.
See you soon. Enjoy Mammoth.
Peace.